every... What day is it?
Tuesday?
Tuesday night, his ghost returns to wreak his horrible vengeance.
Oh, but tonight's Tuesday night.
Then he'll be coming.
Julius Goodwin, one of the great quotes, says, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out. I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out. I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for the Jews. I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me."
So...
Sanity. Sanity. Sanity.
So...
Is that like a personal attack or something?
You think I don't know the real reason Jacob Kane won't put a bullet in her?
What are you talking about?
That if Alice weren't white, she'd be dead.
Shut the fuck up. So...
What's really interesting to me is it's the script has been flipped. I mean, it's the in the United States, especially, it's the left that has turned into the fascists.
Yeah.
And they're burning books, they're squelching free speech, they're any kind of true intellectual discourse, and it's for me, it's fascinating to watch. It's a little frightening as well, I'm not gonna lie.
So...
You want some of this? Dude, you know, where you at? Dude, I'm right outside. I'm right the hell outside. Come on out. Dude, I will kick your ass. You can't miss me. Come out. I got a green shirt. I got khaki shorts on. I'm right outside.
Hey, don't be pulling me in this.
You can't miss me.
Don't be pulling me in this bullshit. No,
Dude,
give me that. Give me that.
I don't even...
Yes, love yourself. In defense of the selfie.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
I know what you did. You're a damn terrorist. All right, just get the hell out of here, huh? I got a goddamn campaign.
So...
Green lights, baby. Let's go.
Say, kids, what time is that?
Tonight's Tuesday night.
And that means another evening of stimulating conversation with our crew of geek timers. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing okay. It's a bit snowy outside. The weather outside is frightful, but the fire is quite delightful.
Yeah, I had no idea that was going to happen. I honestly didn't. That's what happens when you're busy. Let's go around the horn and introduce the audience to our participants this week. To my wait a minute, I'm gonna get the hang of this eventually. That way, the one and only Stacy Wilbur. How are you, Stacy?
I'm good. Just trying to keep warm.
Are you? I like the new lighting you got going there.
Yeah, trying to be fancy. You know,
Are you gonna change colors, or you locked it in?
I locked it in.
Oh, okay.
I have control issues. I need it to be. I always said it.
Below Stacy, we have the OG, Peter Bradley. How are you?
Why, hello.
You know, you're constantly in Moe's Tavern.
Yeah.
What can I say? I like Duff. It's the Duff, the pickled eggs, the pool table. They got it all here, man.
He's really good at that. You missed your calling as a weatherman. Because you could do a great job. You can point at everything and still be wrong. And I don't know why you didn't be a weatherman.
I don't know. I got a face for radio, I suppose.
And two Pedros left, right below me, would be the one and only returning shitty beef himself, Alan Q. Spalding. How are you, Alan?
Hey, how you doing, guys? Nice to see you all. Thank you for having me. Gonna hang out for a little while, talk some shit.
Awesome. Are you located in Hogwarts?
I wish. I'm located in my office, but Hogwarts is in my heart.
We got a story about that. I don't know if you'll still be with us when it comes up, but
okay.
It's incredibly infuriating. We got a lot to talk about, and we have a special guest coming on tonight, Edwin Acevedo. from the YouTube channel Drawing Aces will be here in a little bit. And he's launching a fundraiser for his new comic book called The Ace, which he kind of calls a throwback to the 90s comics.
Oh, very nice.
Big costumes, big everything was big in the 90s with the comic books. And it's about a
shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads. Well, we'll let him tell the story, but we'll put the link in the show notes to his fundraiser, which starts on when's the 31st? Is that Sunday?
Yes.
It starts on Sunday. So I'm going to crack open my wallet and throw some money at Edwin. But we'll try to clear the deck of news stories so when Edwin arrives, he gets the floor. Cool.
Good.
All righty.
All right. So with that, let's sit and wait for Edwin. There's nothing going on out there, right? Oh my God. This was one of those weeks. I just like, I had to get out my little blood pressure thing and put it on.
Oh boy. Your
sphygmomanometer? Last week, things were like cool. Like there was a couple of, moron stories out there, but now this is Attack of the Weirdos week. For sure. Attack of the Weirdos.
Yeah. I'm looking at this list and there's just some things that just, I can see your blood boiling from here.
No. I'm drinking
not to get ahead of ourselves, but
I'm drinking my Caradune tea, which is relaxing me. It's caffeine free. It's yummy. So let's get into it, shall we? This is no shock to anyone. What's with this thing here? Go away, thing.
A banner. That movie looks really good. It comes out this week. I'm going to go see it at the theater.
Anyway, so Larry King passed away at 87. And I just got to say, just for myself, I cannot believe he made it that far.
Yeah. Cancer was coming for him a lot, wasn't it?
The guy was, what would he smoke? 2-3 packs a day, probably?
Something
he was smoking on the air for how many?
Right.
For how long? God. Alan, what are your thoughts on Mr. King?
Long career.
Yeah.
Long, and he was a hard worker. I mean, if memory serves, I never really heard it. I was not when he was doing his shows on television, I was too young to stay up, and then I was doing theater and stuff like that, so I never really got to see his show. But I understand he did a lot of radio before he did television.
Yeah, okay.
I do believe so.
People would listen to his show, and it's apparently one of the great radio shows that have been out there. So, I mean, bless him, and Godspeed, rest in peace, all that stuff that people say. Rest in peace is the one that gets me. But
yeah, who wants to rest in chaos?
I think living in peace sounds better. I want to live in peace.
It does.
Stacey, wow. See, this is why you're here, Stacey, because of statements like that.
Namaste. True. There's so much anger and hate. I hate it. I hate the hate.
I do too. It's kind of weird. He ended up his career on RT television, I guess, right? He's on Russian television.
Oh, really?
But there you go. Alan started his career as a
look at that, Muppets.
Yeah.
But I never really watched him all that much. But the one clip that I'll never forget is when Jerry Seinfeld came on in the late 90s after the Seinfeld was had its run.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry said, "Oh, so they canceled your show," and Jerry lost his mind and started yelling at him. And he's like, "What? Do your research. We were number one. We went out on top. There's a big difference between being canceled and going out on top."
Yeah.
So
he definitely made headlines throughout his career. That's how I mostly knew him too. I never really watched the show, but everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, show of hands, who discovered him from the Ghostbusters movie, right?
That's right.
One of the best lines in Ghostbusters.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that.
How is Elvis? And have you seen him recently?
Yep.
Wow.
Exactly. Next up, we had another one. Oof. And this one, Hank Aaron. This guy to this day is my favorite baseball player of all time. When I was a kid, I just loved him, and I've been searching when I've had a few minutes to go downstairs and look. I've got a toy, an action figure of him, 2 of them actually, but one's still in the box on the wall, and the other one I just can't find the one I pulled out to display because I'm trying to sell a lot of stuff, but I wanted to pull it out. What I loved about Hank Aaron was that he was not the greatest player. He was just a really, really good player, but he was a great guy. He was like the ultimate role model for a kid. And he did everything right. Like, he had all the tools, but he wasn't like the most powerful hitter. And he wasn't like the guy who could hit for the best average. And he wasn't the best fielder, but he was one of the best at all of those things.
Dedicated, reliable, person of good character, worked his way up. He played, what, 20, 24, 25 seasons?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he played, when I was a kid, he was an old guy playing, and he was still effective. And of course, he's most famous for breaking Babe Ruth's home run record. In fact, I have the clip right here.
Aaron waiting, the outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. For baseball, what a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world.
Wow.
Good stuff.
That's
Who were those guys that ran on the field and were like in street clothes? They're like, "Yeah, good job, buddy."
Yeah, I was going to say it was a different time when fans would run out on the field and do things like that. I remember when the Yankees won the pennant in '77 and the stands emptied into the field. But yeah, Hank Aaron, I mean, he embodied everything that athletes should be to me, even post-career. He's always just so gracious and humble. And it's funny watching him go around the bases on that home run. He's got a dad bod, they didn't have the workout routines they do now. They didn't have the performance-enhancing drugs they do now. So he was great. I was talking to Con Guy yesterday, and he sent me this great article from a local paper here in Connecticut. His father, Con Guy's father, John, is an awesome dude. If you don't know Con Guy's dad, John, you're losing out, because he is just one of the most energetic, vivacious, fun people to be around, and he's like a walking sports encyclopedia. I just wanted to point out part of the article here that Con Guy sent, and that John Weir, who's Con Guy's dad, knew all about Hank Aaron, all the glory, all the stats. He'd grown up in New Haven, idolizing the slugger, checking out box scores in the Journal Courier first thing every morning to see how Aaron had done the night before for the Braves. I used to do that too as a kid. I'd go get the paper and look at box scores, and see who was leading in the categories. Now, on an early April evening in a hotel lobby in San Diego on the eve of the 1970 season, Weir was face-to-face with his baseball hero.
Nice.
But it's funny how normal these encounters can be. Aaron was by himself. No fans were milling his number 44, 4 years away from breaking Babe Ruth's home run record, strode into the team hotel. Aaron saw Weir stand and approach. Lord knows there was plenty in Aaron's past, distant and not so distant, to make him wary of strangers. But he took note of the Navy uniform, saw the extended hand, and shook it. We talked about 10 minutes, talked about where I was from and how I love baseball and how I love the Braves, Weir recalled Saturday night. He was very cordial. Weir, who now lives in Wallingford, has been replaying that meeting and all his memories of watching Aaron play since hearing the news Friday that the Hall of Famer, considered one of the greatest to ever play the game, had died in his sleep at age 86. 50 years removed, and voices still carry from that early April evening in Southern California. Did you play Little League Baseball, John? Where are you stationed? Did Weir even mention he was on the USS Mobile? The Mobile, named after Aaron's hometown, Mobile, Alabama, just commissioned on its maiden run out of Norfolk, Virginia, by way of the Panama Canal. Weir and his shipmates have been in San Diego for a few months, with Aaron and the Atlanta Braves coming to town to open the season. Weir found out where the visiting team stayed and made a beeline for the hotel. Weir rightly figured players would start trickling in right after dinner. He'd had to wait no more than half an hour for Aaron to show. We're playing the Padres tomorrow on opening day, John. Oh, I know you are. Are you going to the game? I am. I don't have tickets, but I'm going to get them when I get there. Tell you what, John Weir, is it? There will be 2 tickets waiting for you at the window. I'll have my traveling secretary arrange it. Those tickets were there. John Weir and his friend Dave Perillo of East Haven. I think that might be the same Dave Perillo I used to work with. Shipmate on the USS Mobile, took the 1970 season opener on April 7th between the Atlanta Braves and San Diego Padres, courtesy of Hank Aaron.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
That's
very well written, too.
It is very well written. That's why I love Hank Aaron.
Very cool.
I never met the man, but I felt like I had. Just one of those guys, you know. Any other thoughts before we move on?
He got his COVID vaccine just earlier this month.
Yes, and yes. So
86 is a good year, good age to make it too.
Yes,
I think, you know.
Yes, it is. The weird part is Aaron said he felt great before passing.
Well, that's good that he didn't like suffer with anything that made him, you know. So
speaking of another idol / humble great guy, top in his field, Eddie Van Halen. Today was his birthday. Today's his 66th birthday. Eddie passed away in late October. Actually, what was that? October 6th, I think, right? So today, Guitar Center Hollywood unveiled this giant mural on the side of the building. Robert Vargas teamed up with Guitar Center to pay tribute to the legacy of Van Halen with the striking mural, which depicts Eddie playing his iconic Frankenstrap. It's a 17-foot tall by 100-foot long mural and covers the entirety of the store's outer wall at its rear entrance.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's Edward is one of those guys who will live on, like Jimi Hendrix and I mean, name
all those and so many more.
I mean, this name, Prince, you know, Michael Jackson, these kind of these artists that are timeless. And with that, a follow-up story. Go away, Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony are going to put together a Eddie Van Halen tribute show, and they don't know when, of course, because it's all based on the coof. But they're talking with Wolfgang Van Halen and both Valerie Bertinelli and his current wife, Janine. So they go. They don't care if it takes 10 years; they're going to do it because they owe it to him. But
does Hagar have that long? Because look at him; he looks pretty old.
Well, you know, it's funny. That's a horrible shot of Hagar. He still has the energy he did when he was, 35, even though he's like 73.
Is he really?
Yeah, but this was right after they did a charity show. I think this was around September, October at Santa Monica Pier or something like that. Or maybe it was in it was the island there. God, I'm just drawing a blank.
Cabo San Lucas? No. Whatever.
No, the right off of California there, right out of LA.
Oh, I haven't.
Alcatraz? No.
No.
San Francisco.
Anyway, whatever. The point is, he was out in the sun and got you could tell he got horribly sunburned. Look how red his face is.
Yeah, he looks.
He does look
terrible.
That's a lousy picture.
So, in Wolfgang, I saw, it goes along with to Twitter. Twitter's just. Here's a kid who's still grieving his father. It's his father's 66th birthday today, and people on Twitter are just attacking him.
Really?
Yeah, and he.
What did he do? Breathe wrong?
Yeah.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Wolfie Van Halen.
Oh.
It's they want him to put together Van Halen, and they're tell him to stop feeling sorry for himself and all this kind of shit, and it's just not fair to let the kid be alone. you know, and then people are wondering why he hasn't done anything as a tribute or whatnot. You know, why haven't they had this thing? I'm just hoping if they do this, that they bring back David Lee Roth and, as horrible as it was, Gary Cherone. It should be anybody who worked with Eddie should be part of this thing. So even guys like Steve Lukather, who worked with him on Michael Jackson's album and things like that, just bring them up, bring an all-star cast out. But they didn't ask me. They don't care what I think.
I care, Keith.
I barely care.
Well, screw you, Pete.
I barely care.
But I do care.
I had to throw this one in only because
oh God.
Only because of the Geico ad. Otherwise, who cares, right? Hold on. Missed a comment here from Con Guy. Yes, rest in peace, Hank Aaron. Great story, by the way. Thanks for sending it over. I think the Geico commercial has inspired Stephen Piercy to put Rat back together and record another album.
Oh no!
Please don't.
He's been encouraged. We're all in trouble now.
Yeah. You see what you've done, Geico? Do you see what you've done?
They do have some good commercials, though. I have to say, of all the commercials, the ones with the old people, like the not being your parents commercials. I think that's Geico.
Oh, those are great.
Or is that Progressive?
That's Progressive.
That's Progressive. My bad.
They're neck and neck for.
Yeah, the insurance companies. Who would think?
As long as Progressive doesn't have Flo, the ones with Flo are so freaking annoying. I can't stand her.
Flo.
But everything else they do is hilarious.
Yeah.
But now Geico has given us all a rat problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm going to watch this closely. I want to see if it actually happens because I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm a little embarrassed to say in this group. You obviously all know. I have no idea who that person is.
The band Rat from the 80s.
Never heard of Rat.
If Judah Buddha was here, and by the way, Judah Buddha, if you're watching, feel better, man. Jude's got the coop. So he's having some trouble, and I'm on the emergency ambulance standby if he has.
For the love of God and all that's holy, don't die.
So Jude and I were actually at a Stephen Piercy show.
That's right. Yeah, you told that story a couple weeks.
Yeah, I told that story a while back. And,
trying to relive
Stephen
that
Piercy,
experience.
he wanted to fight me. Yeah.
Nice.
He thought I yelled that he sucked. It wasn't me. I was only thinking it. I only went because my friend Gina she loved him. She loved Rat. She had to go. And she was all alone. She's like, will you take me there? And I was like, all right. Oh my God. So Jude's like, I'll go. What the hell? He loves live music. So it was a sight to behold, let me tell you.
I can imagine.
But I think that doesn't win for story of the night. This one does. Now this one.
What in the fresh hell are you showing us?
This is awesome.
Bodybuilder who married a sex doll has admitted he cheated on her while she was being repaired.
Correct. You read that correctly. Ask me how I found this.
I'll play your game. How did you find it?
How did you find this?
So this was not a supermarket aisle tabloid thing. This was not clickbait. This was not.
You know him.
No.
You know her.
You were the one doing the repairs? I don't know.
I know her, yeah.
She does look a little familiar. I'm just throwing it.
It was your girlfriend that he cheated with.
No, it was lunch break last week, and I flipped on a live stream on YouTube called The Real BBC. And that is Bagging and Boarding Comics with Az and Gary from Nerdrotic. And they just sit there and bag and board comics and bullshit and, show off these cool old comics they have.
Sure.
They started talking about this. I guess one of them had seen this story, so they pulled it up. So I immediately ran and grabbed my trusty pen and my trusty pad, and I wrote down the website and went and found it. Because I was like, that is gold. I got to have that on our show. Yeah. So this guy, he got married, I think it was in the fall, to his sex doll Margot. They had a beautiful ceremony in Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Let me see if I do this. Will they have the? Yeah, here it is.
Kazakhstani bodybuilder marries sex doll after whirlwind romance.
Yeah, look, there's the marriage on Instagram.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh,
So
boy.
they had a beautiful ceremony, and not even 2 months later,
God,
he broke her. I guess on their honeymoon, like he broke her.
Oh,
Margot had broken days before Christmas.
How you doing up there?
Sent off for repairs.
Dun, 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 dun.
Try to stay with me now, all right? So you got to have some fun before all the stupid weirdo stories.
Yeah, but then will be embedded in my brain.
before the weirdo stories.
I can't unknow this information now.
First of all, I got to ask, where do you even get a doll like this?
Yeah,
How much
Keith,
does it
where
cost?
do you get a doll like this?
I
and how much
don't
does it
know. I
cost?
just
Let me get my trusty pen and my pad so I can take some notes. Where do you get this? Where do you get this? Come on, where do you get this damn doll?
I think you know what? Some people might be interested.
some people might. So he broke her. Can't even imagine what Yuri did to her on the honeymoon. And in her absence, ended up cheating her with some kind of weird silver object with ridges on it. The dirt bugger even shared the evidence on Instagram. So,
okay,
what is that?
I'm looking.
So he cheated on her, not with another sex doll, which would seem logical at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was.
What was this a random object?
Yes, I don't even know what that is.
So here's a little.
I don't want to know what that is. Please don't explore it any further.
Don't click. Here's a little side story. He told the Daily Star that the wedding was delayed after he was attacked during a transgender rally in the Kazakh city on October 31st when he suffered a concussion and a broken nose after dressing as a woman for the event.
Oh my God.
Maybe he was going to marry
Wow.
himself.
He added that he also enjoys BDSM, bondage and discipline, domination and submission. I love being tortured. I can endure a lot of pain. I love to dominate too. Margot is capable of what other people are not capable of. No, that's
Except
love.
when he
That
breaks
is
her.
love.
Clearly
Yuri-
not.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I have not ever heard of this, and thank you, Keith, for
Yes, thank you for putting this
ruining
in my
my
brain.
night.
I love this. Is Yuri Tolochko the horniest man in the world, or what? He marries a sex doll, breaks her within a month, and then just cheats on her with random objects he finds laying around the house.
That's almost
Apparently, your background is getting into this.
Oh, it is. Look at it.
Yeah.
I know, it's like
wow. Yeah, what's going on back there?
I don't know.
Stacy's at the disco.
Look at that. Oons, 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 oons,
There you go.
oons.
I don't know what happened there. All the electronics are jumping all over the place. Things are inanimate. Things are taking over. See what's going to happen now.
So for all you kids that want to, take all these performance enhancing drugs at the gym, just look at what happened to this guy.
It leads to this.
I'm not
This is what it
saying
leads to. Mm.
that's exactly what happened, but
Pizza, please scroll past the pizza picture. Please. I don't want to look up until it's gone.
this will help you go on a no carb diet right there. Just looking at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's still there.
So yeah,
That's wow.
this is
you can only get that stuff here and with Gary and Az, of course. Thank you, Gary and
we
Az.
should do that. That should be a thing. That like every week we have some ridiculous story.
Find the
that,
weirdest.
like, find the
shit.
weirdest story.
Yeah,
and-
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if anything can top this. But.
When that came up, when I was watching their stream and that came up, I remember what I was doing. I was in the living room, like reorganizing my bookshelf because I got like 10 books for Christmas. And I heard it. And I was like, what? And I ran in the other room and looked at the TV. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Holy crap. Like,
Oh.
I want to go back, Keith. I want to go back to where you said I was in my living room rearranging my books, and I really, really, really wanted to blurt out. Is that what you kids call it these days?
yes, that's exactly what we call it these days. All right. That's a good idea, though, Stacy. I'm going to take you up on that. In fact, why don't you?
It's a great idea. Let's steal it.
No. Stacy's idea that we find one of those a week.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. That's a great idea. We should steal it for the show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying for the show.
Yeah, okay, well, great. We're stealing it for the show.
Yeah.
So what we should do is do what Stacy said and steal it for the show.
Yeah, that sounds like a good. I think that's a good idea.
He's got it.
No, you've got it.
That's an idea. Let's steal it for the show.
Good idea, Alan. Where'd you get that?
We're gonna steal that for the show too.
My little robot told me.
All right, you stay in E and make sure E doesn't leave.
E doesn't leave.
Right. On to some movie news. No Time to Die. There's no time to come out.
Again?
I know.
Again? Back again. Yeah.
That's been going around lately.
And it said like it's causing Morbius to get pushed further too. It was supposed to come out in the article. Yeah. So now that's not coming out, I don't think, until 2022.
Well, yeah, because James Bond will smoke Morbius.
Of course. I get it, but it's like, oh man.
I know. Yeah. I don't really understand. Well, I guess because it's Halloween time. But still, I mean, people who are into horror and stuff.
But we'll go.
Might not go to James Bond.
Right.
James Bond's kind of a. I know he's not what he. I mean, especially from what I've heard of this one anyway, it's not the male escapism that it used to be. So you might not get. I don't know. They should just leave Morbius out. But yeah, so Morbius is January 21st now, which is like
a year away.
Well, a year away, but it's that kind of time of the year where just all the shit comes out.
Exactly. It's perfect for it to come out in October. I thought that was a good move.
Well, yeah. But then
they
again,
could still change it.
They might capitalize on the fact that there's usually garbage out right now.
True.
In January, I was just going to say it might be a good time to, break the monotony. They're going to have to do a lot of that the next couple of years.
Break the monotony?
Yeah, because everything is out of whack. Our whole, homeostasis is all messed up.
Oh, wow, that's the word of the night. Homeostasis.
Oh, that could be my name, Homeostacy. No, that sounds
that's
really
funny. Homeostacy.
That sounds really
We're gonna have to go back to that previous story if you do that. Yeah, you'll get in pronoun trouble with the weirdos.
I don't know.
Yeah. So No Time to Die moves from April to October 8th.
Huh.
So and I think that's good because it dovetails right into this story, which is that AMC has staved off bankruptcy.
There you go.
They did it. They earned the money.
Yeah, they
did
into the end of COVID.
They earned the money. They did it without any help, with no bailout from the government. So it said AMC said early Monday it has raised or signed commitments for $713 million in fresh financing, calling it enough cash to make it through the dark coronavirus-impacted winter.
That's awesome.
Funds followed the $204 million it raised in December for a total of $917 million. And I think he said they needed like $920, right? So they're there.
Yep.
Hang on. Sorry, I just had to go in the audio settings because I was getting a little echo. Yeah, thanks. You saw it too, Pete.
Yep.
Heard it too. Yeah, you saw the echo. I saw it.
It was.
It was that bad. It was that bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, and locally the AMC is allowed to serve the snacks again. So
yeah, it's all that matters.
Oh yeah.
It's all that matters. The bucket of corn.
Bucket of corn.
Yeah, so the shares went up 38% to a whopping $4.85. So theater shares are like shot, huh?
And it's time to buy, right? Buy now.
I guess, but I mean, what's it gonna plateau at? $20 a share?
There you go. That's
if they recover completely.
I think they will. I think so.
This is a good sign. I'm happy to hear this. This was like the happy story of the week for me. Because there's one right down the street and I love going there. And although, I mean, your haunt is my new favorite, Stacy.
Yes.
But this is convenient in a pinch.
Well, I'm glad they have that so other people can go there and then they don't fill up my place because it's little.
Oh, there you go.
So.
There you go. Whoops. Did I click on something inadvertently?
Oh, that looks like a good movie. But anyway.
So now I just got to find some time to actually attend a movie.
Yes. I hear you. Attend.
Oh, my light went out. I think I lost my battery.
Oh,
I died.
Oh no!
Nuts.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp, womp. All right. Pete, there's always one for you.
Really? For me?
Always. Ray Fisher is back. No, I'm kidding.
Oh. I was like, what? I missed that one. What are you talking about? I was like, oh.
Another movie that got moved back. They announced that today. This is coming out on the 31st. Yeah.
Oh, wait, what? Oh,
they moved it back again.
Oh, no.
What, a week?
Of what?
Yeah.
January?
March.
All right. It was going to be like March 20th. So,
yeah. I mean, it's only a week, but still, this movie's never going to come out.
I know.
I watched the trailer.
Oh, yeah. The trailer is amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
It is amazing. Now, can I ask a couple of questions before you go into the news, Keith?
Yeah.
All right. Now, is it wrong if I want to root for King Kong?
I'm rooting for King Kong.
And I thought Godzilla was our friend.
But King Kong's the friend too.
Yeah, but so why are they fighting each other?
That's what we're gonna find. You gotta watch the movie and find out.
They're monsters. They got monsters with beef.
Well, they've made it clear that there can only be one alpha male if you've watched the other movies.
I did, and I watched the trailer and I read some stuff, and wasn't it you, Pete, that was saying something that it's really not Godzilla, it's Mecha Godzilla?
Yeah, there was a leak with the toys about a year ago, and there's a Mecha Godzilla figure that hasn't been released yet. So they think that that Mecha Godzilla's got something to do with this, and Mecha Godzilla is usually the bad guy. So.
Yeah.
And so the real Godzilla will team up with Kong, and they'll kill that bastard.
That would be nice because I don't want to see Godzilla go down.
No, I'm in Godzilla camp, so we're split here 2-2. I want Godzilla to kick the crap out of King Kong. So, yeah, there's Mecha Godzilla right there, apparently in the dust.
You can see the head and the red lights.
The red light. Yeah.
This is from the new trailer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a freeze frame there. So, it's funny because when I saw the trailer, the scene where Kong has the axe and he's like driving the beam back, I was like, no, that's not really Godzilla. That's the first thing that popped into my head. I immediately thought that can't be real Godzilla because that.
Yeah, or they're using the technology from the second one, with the Orca box to drive them crazy. There's supposed to be a bunch of eco-terrorists in this one.
Oh, okay.
I always thought Godzilla's ray beams, or whatever they're called, were red.
No, always blue. Well, they were red and orange a couple of times, but it's always blue.
In this new universe, anyway, it's blue. And yeah, you know what, Pete? That makes sense, too. It could be the Orca thing because there are returning cast members. Kyle Chandler's back, and so is Millie Bobby Brown. But
and if you look carefully at this thing here, that's clearly something with four-toed feet behind him on that board.
Right there on the board.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And look, there's like an exoskeleton up here.
Yep.
What means four-toed feet, Pete?
Mecha.
Well, Mecha Godzilla's got four-toed feet. Mecha Godzilla's got four-toed feet.
Okay.
And if you look, that's
here.
like, yeah, that's an artificial.
Someone's charging it.
Yeah.
Like people are controlling it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Are we going to go see it together again, like the last one?
Oh, freaking opening night! I'm there, man.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to go to IMAX. If they have it in IMAX, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
As long as it's not one of those IMAX that you have to look up at.
No, the one down at by AMC down here in Plainville is perfect. I saw Tenet there. I saw 1917 there.
Oh, wow.
It's huge, but you don't have to crane your neck. It's a big auditorium. So it's Randy Sarazawa.
Damn it, Godzilla! You stinking bastard!
I am the son of Ishiro Sarazawa. So it's Ken Watanabe's character, which I was really bummed they killed in the last movie.
Yeah.
I really liked him. Played by Shun Oguri, is in a few frames with the screen behind him, monitoring a robot energy levels. So yeah. So this looks. What I love about it, and I texted this on our group text, is the color, the oversaturation. I mean, look at the reds and the oranges.
Oh yeah.
Which Kong Skull Island looked a lot like this.
Mm-hmm.
But the The last Godzilla movie had kind of muted colors, I thought.
Yeah, it was, and it was all at night, and this is all, a lot of it's during the day, which is going to be great. Or if it's not during the day, it's in a giant neon city.
Oh yeah, right. When it looks like he walks into like Tokyo or something.
Yeah.
I think it's Hong Kong.
Is it Hong Kong? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they've just. I really like the treatment in all three of these movies so far. Like the treatment of with the light, the way they light the.
Yep.
And you know, it's just, and the CGI looks really good. I mean, I do wonder why King Kong has an axe. But.
Well, because even in the 62 one, they had to cheat. They had to cheat in order to make him, you know, neck and neck with Godzilla. You know, then 62 they gave him electrical powers, and this one they have to give him the axe because it's not a fair fight.
That's true. Yeah, maybe King Kong can just jam a tree down his throat.
Yeah, like in the 60s.
Yeah,
I hope they do that. I really do.
You notice what I did with the lighting behind me, by the way.
Turned it blue.
Well, look at the thumbnail there.
Oh yeah,
That's who I want to win. I want Mozilla to win.
That's right.
Yeah,
Team G.
So, yeah, I was excited. There's only one person I've seen between social media, YouTube, and friends and colleagues that didn't like it. Paul, I don't know.
Yeah, it broke the internet, man.
It totally broke the internet. You know what? It's a perfect movie for what's going on right now. It's just brainless entertainment. Like, you know what? Like, we don't have to be lectured
it's monsters punching each other for 2 hours.
Right. We're not going to get stupid lectures. We're not going to get any intersectionalism. We're not going to get nothing. We're going to just like check your brain at the door because the people don't count here.
And it really resonates for me because it complements one of my favorite headlines so far of 2021. Did you guys see this headline?
No.
Witless ape rides helicopter.
Share your screen. Let me pop that up.
What's that?
Share your screen.
Yes.
I don't have it on my screen. I don't have it up. But the headline is Witless ape rides helicopter. So
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was in reference to the former president leaving.
Oh. I was about to say I haven't been on any helicopters lately. In fact, I've never been on a helicopter. So, continuing the theme, it's good and it's bad.
Yeah, I heard about this.
You know, this makes sense. Also, I mean, I'm tired of every project being developed for streaming. You know, like, trying to get away from that mindset and like let's start thinking theatrical too. You know, because 2024 will roll around and we'll have nothing.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's being developed doesn't mean it's actually going to be seen.
Well, that's true, but here's my theory on this, Pete. As we know, the first Godzilla did well at the box office, but the second one did not. And the second one was what everybody wanted. We want more Godzilla. We want the rest of the monsters. They gave us exactly what we asked for, and people didn't go. So I'm wondering if, to save money, they will just do it this way. They can, because they were supposed to do a whole bunch of movies, right? I mean, the contract.
Yeah, I mean, it was still going to end with Godzilla versus Kong. It's just kind of okay. We're going to do up to this point, and then we're going to reevaluate. So I'm really hoping that Toho says, yeah, sure, go ahead, do more of these. And especially if this thing goes ahead, then that means Toho's hopefully going for it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, either way, if they can give us this stuff in whatever form, I'll take it. But this stuff's meant to be seen on a big screen. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
It is meant to be seen, but let me ask a question, Pete, since you're the resident expert in this area here. Wasn't Godzilla originally created for television?
No. Godzilla was originally for the movies. It was in '54.
All of the original stories, the Godzilla stories, were movies?
Oh yeah. It was there is a Godzilla TV series coming for Netflix, which is going to be amazing. But
there was a Godzilla TV series in the '60s, right?
In the '70s, there was an animated one. In the early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s, there was another cartoon. But no, Godzilla's never been a TV series.
Yeah, we would watch them. The old movies. Would
Yeah,
be
yeah. I
on
mean, yeah, they've all been
so
on
maybe
television, but they were never designed to be seen for
Right.
television.
Okay. I could have sworn I watched a Godzilla TV series.
No.
Not in the 80s.
Okay, who can sing the Godzilla animated theme song? Go.
Pete.
I can.
Well, I mean, up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire. He something or other in the sky. Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla and Godzilla
and Godzuki. Because everything needed to have a Scooby-Doo character in there.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what comes of it, but either way they can keep it going is fine with me.
Yep.
So these
especially
movies are
if
fun.
they can keep it'll be better if they can keep it with recognizable monsters like Godzilla and Mothra and everything like that, as opposed to just let's just have them be chasing other monsters around. Because I don't know how many people would be interested in like, oh look, they're fighting a giant mammoth, or look, they're fighting a crocodile monster.
This week's episode, the Smog Monster.
That would be a good one to bring in.
Smog monster.
What's the deal with Gamera? Do they have the license for Gamera? Are they gonna?
No. There was supposed to be a new Gamera movie a couple of years ago, but nothing ever came of it.
Huh.
Toei is just sitting on it.
Really?
Toei? No, not Toei. I'm drawing a blank.
We're taxing his
Godzilla knowledge.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Kong Skull Island, the Godzilla 2014 or Godzilla King of the Monsters, I suggest you do before
Dai. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Dai.
Okay.
Why didn't
I just wonder if they would try to acquire that license and spin it into the.
That would be awfully nice to have a Godzilla versus Gamera, but I don't think Toho would go for it.
Okay. Just curious, because I know nothing about that universe for the most part, except it's fun to watch. So, this is what happens when your YouTube channel gets big and popular. You get articles written about you.
Wow.
So I watched this video Gary did, and his Lord of the Rings knowledge is right where your Godzilla knowledge is, Pete. It's really in depth and astute. And after watching what he said, this could be problematic. And I know we talked about this a week or two ago. What I had forgotten completely is that Bad Robot's involved.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That
Really?
changes everything. That changes everything. So Gary went into like amazing depth, like going way back into the lore and everything that Tolkien stood for. It was a history lesson in 10 minutes. So the epic drama is set thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged, kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin, unlikely heroes were tested, hope hung by the finest of threads, and the greatest villain that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all the world in darkness. Then it reads, beginning in a time of relative peace, the series follows an ensemble cast of characters both familiar and new as they confront the long-feared reemergence of evil to Middle-earth. As the synopsis ends, it reveals a number of locations where the show will take place, from the darkest depths of the Misty Mountains to the majestic forests of the elf capital of Lindon, to the breathtaking island kingdom of Numenor, to the furthest reaches of the map. These kingdoms and characters will carve out legacies that live long on after they were gone. Beekler notes that on the surface, this synopsis sounds good. He explains, on the surface, it sounds... I like when they do that. He notes that this sounds good. On the surface, it sounds good. Yeah. We're going to see if the Elven Smiths of how do you say that?
Forged
the 19 rings of power, influenced by Sauron the Deceiver, who goes off to forge his own ring in Mount Doom. We are going to go inside the Misty Mountains. We're going to see the dwarven kingdom of Khazad-dûm, Moria in its prime. You saw it in Lord of the Rings in ruins.
These
we
are
might see
great,
the origin.
great story points. I mean,
Yeah,
it's sounding really good, but then you got to remember, Bad Robot is involved.
Yeah, we'll get to Gary's but in a second here. Gary goes on. We might see the origin of the Nine, the Ring Wraiths, the Nazgul, who were once kings of men who became slaves to Sauron's will, a fate worse than death. Beekler adds, they mentioned the elf capital of Lindon, which not too many people know about, and are going to go to the fabled island of Numenor and possibly see it in its prime and possibly its fall. Beekler then begins to explain why the Lord of the Rings series is already on faulty ground. This is going to be very different from The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, which are on-the-road stories of companionship, stories that take place of journey. But this one is going to be set up like Game of Thrones. We're going to be following different characters in different locations who are going to converge on each other in the end. Beekler continues, they aren't going to have any hobbits. There aren't going to be any wizards. They're going to have, like they said, new characters and new lands, and that is where the big problem is. This is a giant blank canvas. This takes place over thousands of years, and that giant blank canvas is going to be filled in with a couple of young, inexperienced showrunners. Does that sound a little bit familiar to you? And these untested showrunners who have admittedly in experienced writers' room with writers from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are going to have to fill a lot of time with drama and relationship stuff, modern relationship stuff. And let's not even going into the dialogue, which you won't be able to adapt because there really isn't any like there is in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Beekler states. Then he makes comparisons to Game of Thrones. As you know, all things were going great for Game of Thrones until season 4, until Dan and Dave passed up the books, and they couldn't adapt George's dialogue anymore. And they tried to interpret what George might have wanted, and George is alive, and they could have asked him anything at any time, and they still produced the biggest disaster in television history. How do you think it's going to go for J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay over there? Obviously, they don't have J.R.R. Tolkien to talk to. They no longer have the greatest guardian of his father's work and one of his greatest sons who's ever lived, Christopher Tolkien, to talk to either. Then the YouTuber points to a rumor covered here on Bounding Into Comics that there was a shift in the direction of the show following Christopher Tolkien's death. Then, of course, there was the rumored big shift behind the scenes right after Christopher Tolkien's death. He died in January 2020, and in March 2020, it was rumored from OneRing.net that a lot of the writers were fired, and they rewrote season 1 and removed Tom Shippey, the Tolkien scholar.
Oh, boy.
And that brings us to the politicking. Are we going to get the nihilist postmodern intersectional Lord of the Rings? I think this is a good possibility considering everything we've seen from modern Hollywood. And then there's the fact that we already have a nihilist postmodern Lord of the Rings. It was called Game of Thrones. So, yeah, there's going to be nudity in this thing. They hired an intimacy coordinator, changed the story structure, and now the show is being run by 2 former Bad Robot employees. He also adds a report that Jeff Bezos mandated Amazon create their own version of Game of Thrones. The report came from Variety, and they claimed the mandate from Jeff Bezos is clear. Bring me Game of Thrones. That's the word that has the creative community buzzing this week about a major strategy shift underway for Amazon Studios' original series efforts.
Yeah, they're spending like $1 billion on this thing.
Right.
Jump change.
Right.
So they're definitely going to go with what works. And
yeah. So that's pretty much what Gary's video talked about.
I can see what they're referring to when they talk about the way the story, all Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. He's right. It's a journey. We're going from point A to point B for a reason. It's a clear mission. It's a singular goal, and there's stuff along the way. Kind of like the very, Star Wars Episode 4. It's very simple story. This has to be very complicated in order to tell it because there's a lot of stuff going on. All cool plot points. I'd like to point out that isn't Sauron a wizard?
No, I think
no,
I think he's an elf.
Sauron is an elf?
I think he had something to do with the elves.
Sauron is the guy that works. Gandalf fights in the.
That's Saruman.
Saruman.
That's Saruman.
Saruman. That's
Saruman.
Right.
Sauron. Yeah, there aren't. Yeah,
Sauron's the big eyeball.
Saruman and Gandalf aren't going to be in this.
Right.
Right. Oh, okay.
And you hit on an important point there.
He was a fallen. He was a fallen. I could see according to this, was a fallen Maya. Maya, wizard.
Okay.
I could have sworn that Sauron was a wizard.
Maiar.
But you're right, Alan. The basic Star Wars and the Lord of the Rings follow the Joseph Campbell journey of a hero model.
Very simple.
Very simple. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to hold out hope. It's going to be the most expensive television show ever produced. $1 billion budget. And they're talking what did we say last week? 5 seasons, they said.
That's
of about 10 episodes,
something like that. Yeah. So they're gonna milk it as far as they can go,
and they're spending a ton of money. I hope Gary's. It does make me cringe that they might want to insert like nudity and all that stuff, because the Lord of the Rings can be terrifying, but at the core of it, it's kind of pure. It's just it's a big fable, is what it is. You don't get that kind of stuff in there. You don't get any. The romance in Lord of the Rings is at the most basic, like Disney-esque level.
Yeah.
The princess falls in love with the warrior king, and
At the same time, though, much like in Game of Thrones, which is supposed to be like a throwback to previous civilizations, sort of a thing, we evolve. We don't.
Yeah, but that's not what
way.
Tolkien would have done.
It's probably not what he would have done.
And if you're going to adapt Tolkien and you're just going to try to continue his legacy and tell this new story, you don't insert that stuff into it. You don't contemporize it.
Well, I read The Hobbit, but I didn't read all of Lord of the Rings. But I do remember there's some seediness. I mean, I don't remember nudity, but it wasn't
they
weren't all that great, some of those people.
No. You definitely have bad guys in varying degrees.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, Keith.
Yeah. It's just, especially like he made a point to bring up the dialogue problems.
Right.
Like they had, I never watched Game of Thrones, but how he said after George R.R. Martin's books ran out, they had a clear problem with designing dialogue.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have his source material anymore.
Well, he was writing the first book, and he got into a certain point.
He's never finished.
And he didn't get past it. I think it was Fire and Ice. And they had to, but I distinctly remember listening to a podcast or a radio show where they did have a conversation with him about what might happen, but he had literally written nothing. So they had to create stuff because the story was being
right, and that's the point Gary makes, is that they didn't know how to handle the dialogue or the way the characters worked without his source material anymore. They were guessing. So yeah,
time will tell.
Time will tell.
I mean, if they want to make it, bring in modern ideals and modern dialogue and just have all the sex and nudity, hell, just completely go for the throat and modernize it.
Yeah, no,
no, make it Freddie and Sam. Have them have the Nazgul in black business suits.
There you go.
I mean, if you really want to shit on it, they take a serious shit on it.
Just looking at this picture of Andy Serkis's Gollum, and I think this will be one of the things that hurts the show, is that they don't have this.
Yeah.
Of all the characters in that trilogy, he was the most compelling to me, anyway. I don't know. Edson's not here yet, and Edson's our resident Tolkien expert. So
yeah, he exemplifies what you become when you're too greedy. Possessive.
Exactly. Yeah. You're ring junkie.
You're ring junkie. I thank you for letting me join you guys. I have to take my leave right now.
What? We're not finished.
Sorry.
And we have a guest coming.
I know.
Curse your oily hide.
But thank you very
Alan,
much.
I will solo you if you want to pimp anything. Do you want to pimp anything?
No, I have nothing to pimp.
Wow. Okay.
I appreciate it though. I would like to. I am interested in looking for a German Shepherd puppy or maybe a Shetland Sheepdog puppy. So
I hear adopting pets right now is near impossible. It's like trying to buy a house.
I'm not sure I want to adopt a pet. I'm looking for a puppy that I can grow with. That can grow with me. So thank you guys.
Where's Maya? What happened to Maya?
Maya's with my stepfather.
Oh,
and she's there because I can't. She's sort of grown up with other dogs now for a few years, and since my mother's passing, it's important to leave her there with him for now because he needs something to do.
Understandable.
Gotcha.
You're a good son, Alan.
Nah, I don't know about that, but thank you.
No, I do know that. I've known you a long time.
Thanks a lot.
It's very true. So, well, thanks for coming. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
I'll be joining you guys more. Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Bye,
Have
guys.
a great night, man. Rock
Have
on.
a good one.
I think Alan copped out because he doesn't want to cover the trash.
Then there were 3. Yeah. Smart man.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be along any second. I don't know what happened to Jason. No word from him. Link is in the calendar. No email like, help, I can't get on. Let me see if he's texted me. Let's see. Nope. No, maybe something suddenly came up. So
Spider-Man hit him in the nose. What?
What? Did I miss something?
You're making a Brady Bunch reference, and
something suddenly came up. George Glass.
Yeah, something suddenly came up,
It was
and
George
then
Glass.
but the actor Nicholas Hammond was the guy that actually threw the football at Marcia. Nicholas Hammond played Spider-Man in this.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait a minute. And there's another degree of Spider-Man to tie to this. Christopher Daniel Barnes, who played Greg Brady in the movies, played Spider-Man in the animated series.
That's right.
Get out of here! That's
it's true.
insane.
Yeah.
Look at that useless knowledge.
6 degrees of Spider-Man and the Brady Bunch. We got it all here.
I got the Brady Bunch reference. I didn't know about all that Spider-Man stuff.
Nicholas Hammond hit him in the face. What?
Yeah.
Suddenly came up.
Something suddenly came up. And of course, in the Brady Bunch movies, it's got a sexual connotation to it.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
I love that.
But the Brady Bunch movie is really good.
The first one is great. The second one's okay. Have you ever seen the third one?
There's a third one?
Straight to video.
Oh.
Mike Brady becomes the president of the United States.
What? Same actors?
Mike.
Gary Cole and Shelley Long, yes, but everybody else is different.
Wasn't there a wedding? Wasn't there a wedding one? Or maybe that was a real one. Never mind. I don't know.
That might have been one of those variety shows they did. Remember they had a couple of those reunion movies too.
Yeah, like they were with the real people,
like
right?
Gary Hauser.
Yeah. I think there was a very, very Brady wedding.
There was, right? Okay.
Yeah. We're getting that echo again.
Oops, is it me?
Yes, we are.
See, it's whenever people come and go. It's so weird. And it's temporary. See, it's gone now. It's almost like if we all stop talking for 1 second.
It clears itself up.
Yeah, who can explain it?
The echo is your equipment's way of saying shut up.
Oh, I forgot to mention that we're coming to you live from Echo Base. That's my Star Wars reference for the night.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, like we don't make enough Star Wars references on this show.
And there'll be more coming. So I don't know if you guys saw this. So they've been developing this, in the background for the CW, of course.
Yep.
And suddenly, after the numbers come in from Batwoman's season premiere, whoops, where it dropped 80%.
Wow.
Shit.
Yeah, 80% in the ratings.
Wow.
They suddenly start pimping this thing like mad. They release the trailer. They announce a 90-minute premiere, and they bumped The Flash season 7, which was going to air on February 23rd. They bumped that a week or 2 weeks, right? Wait,
no, it's
my math. No, because February's short. Yeah, so they bumped The Flash a week to pop this in here and build up some interest, because the CW is in trouble. I mean, the Arrow show is already done. It's run its course. The Flash shows, I think this is the last season. If not, it should be. It's like, that's tired and old. Supergirl's done. Black Lightning, I think, failed. I don't even know if that's still around.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Exactly, Stacey. I never heard of that. And then you got Batwoman just completely face planting. So they put this.
I love that clip that you put in the opening too. By the way, that was pure comedy gold.
I gotta tell you, I did a review of the first episode, and I said this is all. I'm done. I'm not gonna watch this anymore. It's like a Batman. It's like a superhero show with Saved by the Bell actors. I mean, it's awful, and it's so poorly written, and it's just a mess. And then I'm watching. Oh no, it was on Twitter. I saw Az tweets, "Holy crap, this line was just uttered on this show." So of course, I had to go get it. What I'm shocked now, I shouldn't even say it, I guess, but what I'm shocked at is I was able to download the episode without any trouble at all, straight off the CW website. Just took it.
They're like, please take it. Anyone, take it.
Maybe they were just, yeah, sure, you can have it.
It's like, oh.
And it wasn't hard to find the clip. All I did was shuttle around and look for some overly dramatic, poorly acted scene, which was the whole thing. But
right, it's tough to find. Au contraire.
Luckily, it was like 9 minutes in. But I was kind of scrubbing through it 2x. But holy cow! Like, if that doesn't embody, remember a few weeks ago, and I forgot to pull the link up, the think tank we did. We did the guide. The think tank guide to the writing diversity in the scripts.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Instead of having this, do this, and this show is Exhibit A. Batwoman is Exhibit A for that think tank. If you pull that think tank paper and you look at the bullet list they have there and watch Batwoman, you're like, check, 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 check. It's every single one of them. It's void of creativity. It's void of art. It's void of talent. It's void of entertainment. It's a show that just lectures you, and worse, it makes victims. I think back to when PJ was on the show from Orville Nation, and he brought up that point of how they portray, they put these diverse characters in there, but then the way they portray them is insulting, and it's just constant victimhood. Oh, you got it right. Wow, look at you, Stacey.
Yeah.
That was fast. You must have that handy because you're following it, aren't you?
Janie on the spot.
I am writing a show idea, so it's my major go-to.
Let me get to this, and I'll pop it up. Yeah, there it is. So, and I remember we came in here. Remember they said overrepresented things and things we'd like to see more of, and I'm telling you, it's. All I could think, I see these 4 letters in my brain watching that show. But that's not the story we're talking about.
No.
That woman's but now I'm thinking, now do I go on? Do I review episode 2 now?
Why?
I don't even know if I can sit through it.
I don't know. Your funeral, man.
It's oh my God. It's I can't even express in words just how inept of a production it is. And I feel bad because that girl, Javicia Leslie, that's playing Batwoman, has potential, and she's adorable. She's very cute. She's probably the best actress on the show. Everybody else is awful.
Really?
Awful. And Dougray Scott, who almost was Wolverine.
That's right.
Or Hugh Jackman. He refused the role because he was bound to another production, and instead of quitting the other production, which I forgot what it was, but it was some movie that made jack shit and just flopped. He stuck with his agreement to do that one. Hugh Jackman got the role of Wolverine. Bing bang boom. 20 years later, Dougray Scott probably wants to hang himself because now he's on Batwoman. So anyway, Superman and Lois. The trailer actually looked pretty good. And Superman is going to be played by Tyler Hoechlin. Hocklin. So he was in the Supergirl show as Superman.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if he had played Superman before.
Yeah, they brought him in that show, and I really liked the way they handled Superman on that show. He wasn't the Henry Cavill like brooding, reluctant hero type. He was like Christopher Reeve Superman.
Okay.
He was bubbly and full of hope, and the Boy Scout, which is, to me, that's Superman. But what sucked was his costume. So they've actually given him like Henry Cavill's costume now.
Okay.
So he looks much better going forward. So I'm going to give this a shot. I think this might be interesting. The thing that's going to be a little wait and see, we'll say, is that they have 2 kids. Now, in the comics, they've got Jonathan, of course.
Yeah.
But now they have 2. One is Jonathan and one is Jordan. And I think, is it Jonathan or Jordan? One of them's like a jock, and the other one is not a jock. Like a gamer, like a nerd. And I guess one of them's gonna have superpowers, but the other one won't.
Gotcha.
So
it'll probably be the gamer.
Oh, that's what that's exactly what
it makes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because
surprise.
at some point, right? Because it's the CW, and at some point you got to step back and go, wait a minute, let's remember if this is the CW putting this together. It's got to be the most obvious and ham-fisted thing ever, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're also bringing Lois's dad, General Lane, into it, which is pretty cool. I mean, General Lane's kind of like almost the same character as General Ross from the Hulk.
Sure.
Kind of that over testosterone, alpha, doesn't trust the alien. So yeah, it should be good. I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a shot. I'll probably do a review of the pilot.
There
It
you
comes
go.
out on February 23rd. So, of course, I won't be able to watch it till the 24th because I doubt I'll be sitting on the couch for appointment television, and it doesn't go on the app till the next day.
Right.
So,
sure.
But yeah, looks interesting. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I watched the trailer. It definitely looked decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see the trailer because I'm not really a big fan of the CW DC stuff. But I mean, if they can get a decent Superman out of it, I think, yay.
Yeah.
They haven't done a decent Superman in 40 years.
Precisely. It's been 43 years now since Christopher Reeve, and they haven't gotten it right. And this is the character to me who this would be the hardest one to really screw up if you're the CW. I mean, you want to make about as sanitized a show as you can, right? This is the character that's the most sanitized.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he literally is a big Boy Scout. So if you just stick to the lore, stick to who he is as a character fundamentally, which is not hard to do, you should clobber this.
As long as they don't talk down to him and basically, you're a problem and you're this and that and the other thing because you're, which I'm sure they're probably going to wind up doing.
Well, that's the problem. I think the staff of writers they have over there are just hell-bent on it. And Greg Berlanti, I mean, if you go back, I watched the first couple seasons of Arrow. I watched the first couple seasons of Flash. I really liked those shows, even Legends of Tomorrow, because Legends of Tomorrow was cool because it was like what's that cartoon? The Peabody and Sherman.
Oh, nice.
They go back in time and they kind of screw up a historical moment and have to fix it, kind of thing.
Nice.
Which is kind of fun with Legends of Tomorrow. But at the time when those shows were first coming out, it was Greg Berlanti and a guy named Alex Kreisberg or Alan Kreisberg?
Okay.
Kreisberg was his last name. They were a tandem. And I think it was clear that Kreisberg had more of the DC Comics background, and Berlanti had the ability to get the show produced. And then Kreisberg got Me Too'd right out, gone. And the minute that happened, everything took a dramatic, no pun intended, hard left turn. And all of a sudden, if you watch my Batwoman review, I couldn't believe it when I did the simple search and research on it. They have 66 alphabet community characters in these shows. 66.
66. Okay.
That's almost all of them. That's like almost every character. So,
Edson.
Hello.
Hello,
So,
Edson.
you know, and that's where it all changed. And I noticed it. Suddenly I'm watching the shows and I'm like, oh God, these are getting like really, really melodramatic. Lots of crying, lots of talking about our feelings. All of a sudden, every show had tons of alphabet community characters popping up out of nowhere, even some that weren't changed. And I was like, what the hell's going on with these? And I just lost interest in them all. Batwoman's the first time I've actually watched a CW superhero show in about 3 or 4 years. And they've gotten worse. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they, like we said, you really can't muck up Superman unless, as Pete pointed out, they turn him into the target of their fury.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think, Edson?
I think you can muck this up, actually. From what maybe it's not true, but early on when this was in development, I heard it was going to be like one of these, Lois complaining that his salary isn't less than his or less than hers and things like that. It's like, I don't know. You can mess it up, I think.
No, but I think he's saying like you should be able to not mess it up.
You should, yes, right. That's correct. You should be able to.
Yeah, if you follow along
for sure.
with the character, you should be able to be pretty straightforward. And
this should be the most squeaky clean, apolitical
it
character
should be.
ever developed.
Right.
Should be.
But it's not in the hands of Jon Favreau, so.
Jon Favreau. He's one that 2020s for sure.
And by the way, I want to thank you for having that story early on that I wanted no part of.
Me neither.
With the guy, and I just absolutely love Stacey's reaction to it. It just, that one made my night. I was watching, so I'm glad I didn't have to cover
Which
it.
story are you referring to? We could go back and pull it back.
No, please
don't. You. No, thank you.
That one was too much fun.
Yeah,
Edson, you came just in time. I mean, we needed you for the Lord of the Rings story. Because you know more
I totally
about
agree.
Tolkien.
I totally agree with what you guys said. It's just without the source material, without someone to talk to about the source material, it's just left way too wide open. And
well, in the X Factor that we forgot to talk about last week, Bad Robot in charge of it.
Right.
Yep. The JJ, it's not even Bad Robot. It's just JJ disciples from Bad Robot. Like it brings to mind another JJ disciple in charge of a TV show, Alex Kurtzman.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's done right, it can be great. I can say that. If they try to keep it somewhat, just a little bit, at least, even go halfway towards Token, at least try. I mean, I don't understand why they don't even do those anymore with keeping to the original, even the way the language is. It's a language that was developed for that time. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah, when I was in junior high, I couldn't read the books because I kept getting lost because of that language. I was like,
that's okay.
I couldn't keep it straight. But you're right, and it goes back to that Doomcock Network video where they made Doomcock.
Oh yeah.
In a network. But he's right. Like if you acquire these properties, if you acquire this source material, just stick to it. That's what people want.
Exactly.
Why do you feel like you have the need to go and change it?
Yeah.
That's the main reason why you're going after this, because of all that comes with it, all the popularity that comes with it. So why would you want to mess with that?
Yeah, when you have a built-in audience, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel here. But I think some of that's the hubris.
Now, we're all being logical.
Huh?
Yeah.
We're all being logical now.
Yeah.
Gotta cut that out.
Of course we are. I'm just saying that, the I think a lot of it is people have to put my stamp on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is my
I'm an artist. I need to be creative.
Right. Speaking of which, real quick, I didn't bother to clip it out or anything, but I saw the most sanctimonious tweet today. I saw Odin retweet it and laughed at it or something, but it said it was a art critic or a film critic, and he said, being a critic takes far more talent than the artist who created the work, because we have to pick it apart and we have to dissect it. And all this. Like I was like, you sanctimonious
Talk
asshole.
about
Wow, what a douche rocket.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna hit, I'm trying to use restraint. I was gonna you sanctimonious pile of dung.
That's crazy.
Anyway, this one, Edson, Invincible.
Yep.
Robert Kirkman, famous for The Walking Dead.
Yep.
The Walking Dead. It's a very popular superhero comic called Invincible, and it's an animated series, and it's finally about to hit the air or the stream.
Yeah, I saw like a minute clip of a scene from it the other day. It looked good.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I only got the first issue on free comic book day. Never jumped in. Maybe I should go get the trade paperbacks or something, but should be fun. Our old pal J.K. Simmons is aboard. So,
oh, good.
Yeah. Yep. So
bring me pictures of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's got a very distinctive voice. That's for sure.
But then I did see it was posted late today, and as you pointed out, and this happened to me, and the calendar filled up, and I couldn't put anything in it anymore. All these stories. But they're going to also develop a live action movie, an Invincible movie that has nothing to do with the animated series. Yeah.
Oh.
So
I thought they made the right decision in terms of the animated part. I thought that kind of story and everything that goes with it actually fit great with the animated.
I agree.
Wow.
I agree. But in a sea of announcements for streaming only, it's nice to get a theatrical one.
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, is Invincible going to one of these streaming channels?
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Yep. So Thanos creator Jim Starlin believes Thanos is in the Eternals. And I wouldn't be surprised because I don't know a single person who gives a flying crap about going to see the Eternals movie. So what other way would you get him there?
Yeah, start bringing in other starters that have a certain fame to them.
Yeah.
And that's how you draw people in.
Yeah. So Starlin joined comicbook.com's Phase at Zero podcast on Friday's live show, which is available now on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where he asked if he thinks Marvel Studios would be wise to bring Thanos back into another project. I think they are, Starlin said. They made a truckload of money off of wait a minute. They made a truck of money off of, and I believe.
Okay,
I believe I've heard some rumors that he's typo. Nobody edits these pieces.
Nah.
And I believe I've heard rumors that he's coming back in different things. First, I think I've heard confirmed by Marvel Studios he's going to be in at least a guest appearance inside Eternals, so he's going to be around. As Starlin saw the faces in comments section light up with the promise of Thanos returning, he was quick to heed expectations. I heard this myself. He said this is something I read somewhere.
Okay.
So wait, I heard this myself. I read it somewhere.
Boy, it's proofreading.
It's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
I think the proofreader's too distracted by that on the far right.
Listen,
that's for Keith's girlfriend doll. That's what
yeah.
I'm looking at that.
That reminds me of Ghostbusters.
Listen, hey, what's WandaVision doing there?
Where?
They was just showed a scene from one. They just showed a scene from WandaVision down there.
Yeah, there's some probably.
I don't even know what the Eternals is.
Yeah, you and 95% of.
Okay.
It's going to be a movie.
It's a Marvel movie. It's like a C or D level group of heroes that it's a cosmic Marvel.
Yeah, they're like in the vein of Thanos, like these. They have like godlike powers. I think Thor came in with Thor, didn't it? With the initial title. That's how they got introduced to Marvel.
Creation. Yeah, they're like pseudo gods. I'm gonna hang on. I'm trying to find it on the market.
I admit I never got really that much into them. I can't really explain it to you.
I think I read one issue of it back when I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, this is so dull." I just.
But like
Immortals. There you go.
Didn't people feel like that about Guardians.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm
You
sure.
know,
I mean,
so-
it'll either knock it out of the park or it'll suck. There's not going to be any in between.
Yeah, exactly. These characters just don't seem as enthralling. This will be like, to me, it's like when they tried to ram the Inhumans down our throat. If anybody saw the Inhumans, that
I did not.
Face planted.
Mm-mm.
I didn't see it either, but I heard it was terrible. I had no interest in it. It was the same type of thing, you know. Like these characters just don't. I don't know.
Are they trying to make a splash with this, and this is supposed to be their next run that replaces it? Like now that the Avengers story kind of ended, is that what they're trying to do with the Eternals? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think it's trying to stretch the universe, the cosmic angle of the whole
Yeah,
thing,
kind of.
because
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess
they're like
because we've had glimpses of things going on, you know, in
right with the Celestials and things like that. So this is a way to get the Celestials into the story, maybe even the Watcher. You know, because they're basically base gods. They're like the Asgardians.
Yeah, they are.
So we have Edwin the Ace.
He's here.
He's just gave us a comment. Hail peeps.
I will pop that out. Hail Edwin. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I think you're right. Shoehorning Thanos or somebody in there would
it's gonna be
a quick way to try to get people in there.
And the Inhumans was awful and the worst CGI we've ever seen in years, says Edwin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I agree.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I heard Lockjaw.
At least somebody saw it. That was clearly you.
Lockjaw, and I heard what's her name, Medusa's hair, and I saw like the trailer for it and was like, oh, no thanks. My time is limited, and I don't want to.
Yeah, it was something they were trying to force down you because they didn't have the X-Men back yet, so they were trying to kind of that was their replacement for them, and they would follow along with hoping that the comic book would also pick up.
And interestingly, on the publishing side, they dumped all the X titles and tried to push the Inhumans in the comic books too.
Right. Yep.
It's terrible. So
it was terrible. That didn't last very long.
Edwin, you did what I did with the new Star Trek shows. I never made it past the 4th episode. They're so bad. So here's one for me at Edson. This is one of my favorite DC characters. I love Red Hood. Now I'm gonna have to watch the Titans show. I don't know where I'm gonna find the time.
Yeah.
Because if they're bringing in Red Hood, and I've heard the Titans is really good.
Did they move it to HBO Max now?
I think it is going to HBO Max.
Okay.
But the Blu-rays are like $12 for.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I'm physical media, and we'll get to that in a little while. But I love Red Hood. I really love Red Hood. So
yeah, I saw him. I believe in season 2. I saw the first 2 seasons of this, and he comes in. He comes in season 2 when he's Batman's Robin at the time, and he kind of just gets involved with what the Titans are dealing with. He comes across in 2. You might not like him that much. Maybe you would. He comes across as like basically when Damian Wayne first shows up with all that like impetuosity and just he's obviously not Red Hood at that moment. He's the current Robin, which he was. He was the Robin that came after Dick Grayson, and Dick Grayson was now with the Titans in this show, and he has quite a few interactions. It's pretty cool. He's definitely not the Red Hood you're thinking of, but maybe in season 3 now he does become so.
Well, they previewed the costume right here, so it looks pretty good. So is he accurate Jason Todd? Or is he?
Oh, is it that same guy?
I know what you're saying. He is Jason Todd,
but is he's Jason Todd from the comics, or is he watered down Jason Todd?
No, he's Jason Todd for the. He's very
over aggressive,
very over aggressive. Goes way too far, and this isn't a show where the regular characters already go too far, and he goes even further than that. So yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. No, Jason Bridenback, who I don't know where he is because he was supposed to be on, but Jason's been pushing this to me for a while.
Oh, really?
Let's take him up on it. I just, again, You should see the backlog of shit I got to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to add another show to my freaking plate.
So Titans is a show. Is it like kind of like an offshoot from Teen Titans, like the animated show? Like, or is
It's the same group of characters, except
Right.
it's like its own
Except
version of them.
Right.
He's the original Teen Titans. I don't know what the current Teen Titans are.
Well, the Teen Titans Go is a goofy. animated-
okay.
Yeah, like the look is like it's for younger kids, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to add this to my plate.
I need to go back and watch the first 2 seasons now again.
Thanks for selling it. Great. So they're also adding Barbara Gordon. So if you say they adapted Jason Todd properly, I'm guessing they're going to adapt Barbara Gordon properly.
As Oracle, yes.
Yes, as Oracle. I was just going to say she'll be wheelchair bound. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
So, Nightwing's in there. Nice.
Yeah, that's how he starts his.
I'm gonna have to watch this now. God damn it!
I'm not saying it's perfect. I mean, there's certainly a lot to complain about it. But
I don't expect it to be perfect. But
do you remember Hawk and Dove at all? Those 2 characters.
Yeah.
They're prominently in there, which was a little surprising. But they're it's good. Wonder Girl shows up. I don't think they portray Starfire very well, but I didn't mind it that much after I watched it.
Yeah, there was a lot of fallout from that.
Yep.
See, for me, this was on that DC universe, and you had to pay for a subscription, and I'm like, I'm not paying for another subscription.
Which I didn't.
No idea the level of quality of this thing, and what's that?
Yep. Which I didn't either. I waited until the physical media came out.
Right.
Actually, the local library had it. I just took it out.
But see, and there's other things like Akiva Goldsman's name is on it. Greg Berlanti's name is on it. There's red flags that popped up, and I'm like,
yep.
I figured it was just it was a CW show with blood, is what I figured it was.
Yeah, and bad language, because I think Robin at one point says "fuck Batman."
He does. Yeah. He does.
Yeah. So, all right, I'll add it to my freaking list of things to do. I guess I'll just never sleep. I'll just stay awake. Stay awake forever. All right, get your desks ready because you're gonna be pounding your freaking heads on them right now. Here we go. Why do they do this?
Oh, no.
Here's a storyline that everyone hated. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. The Clone Saga. Like, are you kidding me with this? With Miles Morales Spider-Man. Is there anybody at Marvel who has a creative idea left? Besides Nick Spencer or Chip Zdarsky, whose Daredevil run is awesome. Like, is everything else at Marvel just hot garbage? Like, seriously.
Did they do a Clone Saga with Miles Morales in the comic books?
No, they're doing it now.
Okay.
They're about to, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were talking about some kind of.
No, they're going to do a Clone Saga with Miles Morales now.
Yeah. No.
There are seemingly at least 42 attempts at cloning Miles. Oh, good.
Wow. What?
Oh my God. Well, this is what you get when you pay people $30,000 a year at the big corporate comics, right? Like, what the hell? To me, like, I hate the Peter Parker clones. They're still around.
Yep.
Just stop. This was horrible. Why would you do this again now? So now we're going to have like all the Peter Parker clones, and now we're going to have all the Miles Morales clones, and they're all going to be running around. So we could put the Spider-Man name on every book we make. We can make like 30 Spider-Man books now because that's all that'll sell.
Yeah. Not good.
This is like, oh my God. I have no further comment.
When's that supposed to come out? April or something? Not that it matters.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna look at it anyway. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna read it anyway.
Whenever number 25 of my.
I just kind of wanted to know so I could kind of veer off to the left and miss it, I guess. Sorry.
I don't know. It's whenever number 42 or 25 comes out.
Yeah. Okay. Like Az says all the time, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
The best part about it is I don't have to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, this is timing out good. We've got a few more stories, and I know Edwin's home and waiting in the wings. So as soon as he pops in, we'll pop him in. But sadly, we've arrived at the weirdo section.
Oh boy, here we go.
Figures you waited until now.
I always leave it till now because you can't start with the weirdos.
I know that's.
I guess we could. No, I guess we could start with the weirdos and end on happier stuff.
Yeah, because we started on such normal stories today.
I should have saved the sex doll thing for the last.
Margot. Poor Margot.
No.
So HBO Max throws out that they're discussing a live action Harry Potter series, and all the Twitter mob cares about is they don't want J.K. Rowling getting a penny because she's supposedly a transphobic Nazi Yahtzee whatever. Wow. So first of all, I don't think I think, Pete, this is that classic example where they throw out the idea of a Harry Potter series to see what the reaction is and see if the fans really want it. So let's do it. But
yeah,
I think that
I'm sure it is being developed, but it's probably still an idea in somebody's head, and they probably hired a couple of concept artists and then, hey, let's throw this thing out before we spend too much money.
I don't know. I think the Harry Potter thing the ship has sailed on that. Like the Fantastic Beasts movies are so subpar compared to the original Harry Potters were. They're not even close. And then what are you going to do? You're going to bring the kid who played Ron Weasley back to be a teacher at Hogwarts and have their kids at Hogwarts. No, nobody cares.
You can watch those movies over and over and over again. You don't need this. Seriously, when sometimes we'll have a marathon and I'll just it's the Deathly Hallows or whatever one. I'll just watch it. You don't need new stuff because
you'll never recapture the magic of those movies, and it's just it's tired. I would, even if they did, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm full.
Before they did, before they started with the Fantastic Beast, I always thought it was a great idea if they went and did, and of course Rowling would have to be involved with the writing. I wish they went and did when the rise of Voldemort, the original war that they had when you get their parents in school, and I would have loved and how Dumbledore found him in an orphanage and all the way leading up to when Harry he hits the spell off Harry and goes back again. I would have loved that story, but otherwise I had no interest in anything else.
I think that's where they're gonna go with this. That's the plan. But, and she's writing these Fantastic Beasts movies. They're not good.
Oh,
yeah, they're not good.
I thought she wasn't writing them. Oh, wow.
No, yeah, no, she wrote them, and talk about I don't know how you can get an announcement for a Harry Potter series and go here with it.
Yeah, automatically.
Automatically, this is where your Claire Willette, if you're watching, because I know you are. Go seek some professional help, okay? What is wrong with you? J.K. Rowling, the Donald Trump of violence against trans people, should also have been banned from Twitter and deplatformed for using the platform to incite hate speech and abuse. But no one is ready for that conversation. What? Now, as far as I know, all she said was, I only believe in there's two genders or something like that, right?
Yeah, I looked this up today.
She said basically even if you change to one or the other, you're still at the core that other.
No, you know where it started from? The first thing was there was some article had to do with some relief organization, and the story, instead of saying women, it said menstruating people or people who menstruate. And she's like, I think there's a word for that. It's wumba or alluding to that.
Right.
That's where it all began.
Right.
And I mean, I looked back. There are some things that maybe kind of put her on the edge a little bit, but she shows love to trans people. She's very her opinions on certain things might be different than other people's, but and maybe she needs to knock it off a little bit instead of going on and perpetuating this. But
Well-
I mean, when it comes to a story like this, I found a great quote today though, and this was because of course when all this stuff hit the fan, they ask everybody that's associated with J.K. Rowling, and Robbie Coltrane, who's Hagrid, had this great quote, and he's like, I don't know why, but there's a whole Twitter generation of people who hang around waiting to be offended. And I think that kind of sums this up. And I was like, this is it. This is exactly what he's talking about. And he's like, I don't want to get involved in all this stuff. And he's like, I don't need all this in my life. But I thought it was on point with that.
I am completely with Robbie Coltrane, and that is exactly the problem. And I can't wait until Twitter is deplatformed because their finance model sucks, and they're doomed, ultimately doomed at some point. Their stock keeps going down the more they censor and pull accounts from people who don't get in this kind of thinking. And you're right. She has never said hate speech.
Right.
She's never been abusive. She's never picked fights with people. She just makes a point.
She has her own opinions.
And here's the thing. Comrade Abdi and Punished Schmudo.
Who are these people?
All of you freaking weirdos on here. People are entitled to their opinion just because it doesn't match yours.
She's not going out there trying to go after people and saying, you know, that's the point, I think.
Oh, it's totally the point. And I'm just, these stories piled up this week, and I'm just like, again, I had to put my little blood pressure thing on. I'm like, okay, they're just weirdos. But what doesn't make sense to me, and a lot of people acknowledge it, that 99.9% of the real world doesn't act like this. But yet these people who act like this get what they want.
Yeah.
Some reason.
It's the squeaky wheel syndrome.
That's what I don't get, and it bothers
Yeah.
the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That these wieners, these total beta soys who sit there and do this, get their way. All they do is sit there to tear things down.
It's funny because I even saw in an article, I don't know if it was this one or another one, but GLAAD, like the Gay Alliance, or the group, I forget what and it stands for, but
GLAAD.
GLAAD. Yeah, they said something in response like, okay, like if you're all mad or you have feelings about these things, then why don't go do something? Like go be positive in something, and so even they were like, you can,
wow.
I thought, of course, that's exactly what needs to happen. But it's so much more work to go out and work with people or do something than sit behind your computer screen and bitch about everything.
Bitch about everything. It's
the,
so tiresome.
the anonymity of the internet, basically.
Right.
Bring up that picture with Mike Tyson. That basically, if in the old days when you used to say something, you get punched in the mouth for it.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but she's entitled to have an opinion. It doesn't have to agree with someone
there
else's.
you go.
That's the thing, and that's there's an immaturity level. There's a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say a failure to launch, but there's definitely an arrested development with the people who will continue to do this stuff. There's an immaturity. There's just a crazy, like, what are you not getting here? Like, in their complete inability, in addition, their inability to separate art from artist, and product from the, okay, maybe what if she really is an a-hole? Okay, whatever. But you know what? Those are really good books, and they're fun movies. So the fact that they want to like shut it down and cancel it and pull it just because they don't like what she says is about, like, to me it sounds like something an 8-year-old would say.
I mean, I wouldn't want to support someone that is actually hateful and leads, well,
that's the thing, Stacey, and a lot of this goes back to when The Last Jedi came out. That's where a lot of this came from. That's where the hashtag fandom menace came from, because what happened was The Last Jedi came out, and actually you can even go back a year prior when the Ghostbusters with all the girls came out. If you were critical of it, you didn't like it, and you had something to say about it, you were suddenly labeled as all these horrific things.
Yeah,
and this is what would happen to any regular person on Twitter. If you said, geez, that Last Jedi was a hunk of garbage, they ruined Luke Skywalker, you get this kind of stuff.
Right, and there goes the conversation, and that's when there's problems.
Right, exactly.
You can't even discuss things anymore without being attacked and being called ridiculous things. Like,
these kind of people look at the fandom menace as ists, phobes,
because they don't agree with them. Yeah,
alt-right.
Exactly.
Like we're
you don't agree with them on a TV show or a movie. Like it's so bizarre.
Yeah, that one's really bad.
It makes no sense.
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's a damn book. It's a damn TV show. It's a
Well, like
movie.
the thing we were talking about last week with the girl that played Ray, and like people are worried about what boyfriend she's kissing in real life because that's
what
they're
I mean.
mad about like what is that?
There
like,
again, there's the Arrested Development right there.
right.
And so I'm sorry to put you in this predicament, Stacey, but by being part of this, you are an alt-right Yahtzee. Did you realize that?
No, I'm not.
Well, you are now.
You are now.
No,
Congratulations.
This is the last thing with Roland. She can be very supportive of someone that's trans, but without agreeing with them. She can be supportive of them, but have a different opinion. It doesn't mean just because you have a different opinion, you automatically hate them. It's like you can be very supportive of them. I don't understand.
Didn't she get all these like brownie points because she made Dumbledore gay?
Oh yeah.
She does a lot of post stuff though too. Yeah, whatever. I mean,
that's the thing, Pete. You go from being their darling to their complete, nemesis with one action.
But it's not even the community that's saying this. It's some other random people that just want to make a fight or be pissed off about something.
Yeah, no, it's the Twitter mob.
I mean?
It's the Twitter mob.
It's not the community that's supposedly being offended.
No,
right.
It's the Twitter mob who a couple months ago were Letitia Wright has to be the Black Panther. She has to strong woman, Shuri. She has to be the Black Panther. And then she goes, geez, I'm reading about some horrible side effects with this vaccine. Fucking get rid of that bitch. That stupid asshole. Yeah. So that's what they do
right there, right?
Rowan Atkinson, who plays Mr. Bean, actually he tweeted, and surprisingly nobody jumped on his throat for it, but he said he compares cancel culture to like a medieval mob.
Yeah. No, it is. It's
That's
like
about right.
No, I that's what pops into my head. People with pitchforks and torches, like that's when these kind of things come out. That's exactly where my brain goes.
Yeah, I go to like the Salem witch trials and things like that.
Oh boy, this is another one.
This one.
I didn't read this one.
Oh my god.
Oh, she's a piece of work.
So, we have an echo. Hang on.
Well, we are an echo chamber for our fans.
Yeah.
Literal echo chamber.
God, that drives me nuts when that comes out of nowhere like that. So what happened was apparently they're going to make a High Republic TV show on YouTube, and they hired this girl, Christina Ariel, very cute, very attractive woman, to host it, and she's all excited. So Bounding into Comics, and this is from Disney Star Wars, is done by Ichi Baka. They dug into her. There she is, all excited about it. They dug into her Twitter past, and it goes down a rabbit hole of hate. And here's the thing with this, before we even get into some of this stuff. The basic rule when you see blanket statements like this is swap out the word white for any other one. Put in the word black, put in the word Latino, put in the word Jewish. And if it sounds racist, it's because it is. So, watching two white men discuss racism they'll never experience will never sit right with me. White men, this is not the subject for you to try and speak authoritatively in my comments. The number of white women I've had to do foul shit to me then blame me for intimidating is mind-boggling. I find it super fucking annoying when white people dismiss microaggressive behavior with their real racist problems. It goes on and on, but yeah, it goes on and 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 on. So, and they're all very general statements. And again, if you swap this word for another word, how would they take that? How would it be interpreted? So, instead of addressing the problem, and we've seen Lucasfilm already have tons of issues with their social media.
So white people being the problem, what does she think that about her boss?
Well,
isn't Kathleen Kennedy a white woman?
Yeah. We've seen Lucasfilm have problems with these loose cannons all over social media constantly. Then this happens, and instead of it's amazing. Instead of like tamping it down, they do this. They go after Founding in Comics for exposing it instead. So then Star Wars official Twitter. God, this fucking, you hear that echo?
Yes, you do.
I don't hear it.
Nobody's got an open speaker, right?
Nope.
It's getting worse.
I don't hear anything.
Getting worse. Is it gone? There, it's gone. So the official Star Wars Twitter comes out and says, "Our Star Wars community is one of hope and inclusivity. We do not stand for bullying and racism. We support Christina Ariel." Which now, they go and start dividing up the fans again. Because, oh my God, that echo is killing me.
I don't hear it at all.
Hang on. Check. All right.
Checkity check.
Check it. It's you, Pete.
It's me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hang on. Let me mute you. Echo? No, it's still there.
I don't hear it at all.
It might be me. Let me mute Edson. Echo?
Echo. Echo.
All right, it's gone. I don't know.
Echo.
Yeah. Anyway, so where were we? So they stand by they won't stand for bullying and racism. Yet they've had how many of their employees bullying people?
Yep.
They just by showing that support for that, they've just supported all this, and worse, they forgot on James Earl Jones's birthday to wish him a happy birthday.
Yep.
Which was, the day before was Martin Luther King Day, and they went and tweeted that out. They also apparently forgot Carl Weathers' birthday a few weeks before that. So this is also a company that will, bend a knee to China to make a few extra bucks by like taking John Boyega and like taking his huge face on the poster and putting it way down in the bottom corner because China doesn't want him on the poster. So it just set off a whole other watching this transpire over the weekend was dumbfounding, to say the least. I was just sitting there going, what's going on here? First of all, who did this? Who's running this Twitter account? Who?
Wasn't the worst of it, and maybe already was not just that they hired her and are keeping her, but that they made a statement that we stand behind her despite what she tweeted.
That's this.
Okay,
right?
All right, that's what you did. Okay, good.
Yeah, and I said and instead of you've got to root out the source of the issue. You don't turn around and attack Bounding into Comics because they exposed all those tweets. Sorry, those tweets exist. They're out there, and she did them. That's not anybody's problem but Christina Ariel's problem. So then it gets even better. This article comes out yesterday. Justified author John Delarose claims Disney's marketing strategy for Star Wars The High Republic is calling fans racist. And over the weekend, Clownfish and a couple other people started to point out this looks like the Last Jedi move again. And I think what did Neon was calling it, like the TLJ maneuver or something like that. Nice. Or no, he called it the Tico maneuver. Where again, now all of a sudden it's the fans that are the problem. The fans are the problem. Not her, not the fact that their product is garbage, not the product, nothing else. And yeah, she's had some personal attacks, like she went out for groceries and some woman yelled at her or whatever. And that's one thing. But when you're making like blanket statements, like all white people, just you can't do that. You cannot generalize like that. I know if I did that, I know where I would be professionally.
Mm-hmm. And she's writing a show where a white woman seems to be front and center.
Well, it's the High Republic it's books.
Yeah, but she's involved with something that looks like we got a white woman front and center.
Yeah, that's one of the main characters, but it's also I did the review of the first comic. There's the half-shaved head.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So it goes on from here, but I would not be surprised that they're taking the same maneuver they did 3 years ago. The same move. So Reddit. This is great. This is just what's great. What Lucasfilm does is more entertaining than their actual product.
That's true.
This is more fun than watching any of the Star Wars movies that they've made at Disney. Mandalorian aside, this is so entertaining. So this guy, artist Stephen Wayne, and I remember when we featured some of his art a few weeks ago when he took the
nice.
Remember this?
Yes, I do.
So anyway, he did this commission of Ahsoka, and they took it down. They started censoring him now.
Did they censor those photos?
They took his Ahsoka, right?
No, but did they do? What about the ones that he was like making?
Oh, the High Republic.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they.
I don't know. I think they live on Twitter.
But it was like subreddit, whatever that is. I don't even know what that is.
Basically, it's the Reddit website, and then have a subreddit would be a category. So they have like the Star Wars.
So
and it's moderated and.
Do you think he put those other things?
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure.
And I wonder what the backlash was with it, because I was reading this and I'm wondering if he was flagged because of that.
Oh yeah.
And that's why they like.
Oh yeah, no, he's been like most fans who see something ridiculous go and take a shot at it. Why not? But again, you're entitled to your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like this character here. Avar Chris. This was like the original concept design, and it ended up looking like that. Like
looks a little He-Man-ish, like a little bit like He-Man. Exactly. Like it makes me think of, like little like that. Like
right.
I'm not like making fun of it. I'm just saying like like that kind of art of He-Man.
Yeah. Well, that was the basic criticism. Like, wait a minute.
But not that all women need to look like effeminate, like super.
No, I get
whatever.
it. It doesn't look
I don't think
I didn't. Either. I thought it was a dude when I first saw it.
So did I.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a male character.
Maybe that's the look that they're going for.
Maybe. And then it gets even saltier, especially because the guy's name, saltier than Crate. They decided that they banned bounding into comics, Phantom Menace, and others. So this happened today, I guess. And they want to get rid of people who hurt their cause. It hurts their cause to tie personal thoughts and feelings to bad movies. Causes rage, whatever. So these are the people who got banned: Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy and Ryan, Doomcock, Midnight's Edge, Bounding into Comics, Cosmic Book News, Clownfish, and Pirates and Princesses. Comic book, that's Ethan Van Sciver. We got
Forbes?
This in Forbes.
Forbes, like the money magazine?
As for why Forbes was added to the list, Moonlight Mushroom addressed that one in the comments. So Forbes used to be a reputable business news site, obviously, but it got bought out a few years back and was resorted to intentionally posting rage-inducing, misleading editorials to get more hate clicks.
And this is the subreddit is what they're being censored from?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's a Star Wars, basically it's a Star Wars forum.
Okay.
And you're no longer allowed to go in there and go, The Last Jedi sucks. you get kicked
Well,
out.
can't someone start like a fan Star Wars subreddit?
But you know,
Oh, I'm sure that they already exist.
And they have different moderators. So
yeah,
like,
and you know what? I mean,
take your ball and go to the other playground. It's fine.
it's right, and it's the YouTubers have the floor anyway. They've, you know, I think this subreddit has like 74,000 subscribers or something like that, and you know, like,
heard of that such a thing.
Doomcock's got like 5 times that amount.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So, and then the virtuous Twitter crowd does it again. Andy Signor threatened with physical violence and castration.
Oh,
Gina Carano. So, Fandom Wire writer and Popcorn Planet host Andy Signor has been threatened with not just physical violence, but outright castration for his defense of Gina Carano in the wake of the official Star Wars Twitter account's recent statement against bullying. So there's the tweet again, and Andy wrote, "I've never heard of Christina, but I'm confused where your tweet of support for Gina Carano was. She's been endlessly bullied for things she's never even said. Stop picking favorites and be truly inclusive by supporting all of your talent equally, no matter who they vote for."
That sounds like a logical statement.
Yeah, it's basically what we just said about J.K. Rowling.
Yep.
Gina Carano, you know, she's never said hate speech or anything like that, yet she baits them once in a while. She does bait them once in a while.
Yeah.
But overall, she's been putting up like hopeful memes and stuff like that. And you know, again, she's entitled to her opinions, but no. So here we go. That's a cool thread of shit she deserved for being a dipshit conspiracy theorist and a bigot. Talk shit, get shit. Maybe Gina needs to grow some fucking skin, and she wouldn't have had to fuck off to Parler, which, oh, by the way, got shut down because it was full of Nazis. Yeah. You know, look at this. Look at this stuff. I don't even want to read it. I don't even want to read what these people are writing. But they still get to keep their accounts, though, by the way, because, you know.
Yeah.
Because that's not in violation of the Twitter policies or anything. And that's the problem with the Twitter thing. It's so damn inconsistent that people can do this to Andy Signor, who's just basically like one of us, a fan with a YouTube channel, right? That's okay. But if you're on the other side, bye-bye.
But he makes the best point. You come out in support of this girl who you know, puts all these racist remarks out there against white people, and then you don't support Gina Carano, who's coming under all these death threats and hate speech. It's completely.
If you're going to defend one of your employees, you got to defend all of your employees.
Exactly.
They're both employees of Lucasfilm.
Yep.
So this goes, I think, along with all the stuff we've been talking about over the weeks of that there's definitely a division inside of Lucasfilm. Though the tail's wagging the dog for sure. I don't know what kind of power play this is right now that they're pulling with this. And another one of these attempts to discredit the longtime fans again, because we won't buy the High Republic. I bought the High Republic. I read it. It was trash. Simple. Very simple.
As Luke Skywalker says, your overconfidence is your weakness.
Exactly.
I'm sorry that we're not supposed to talk about Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no. I'm going to put a red X over your face and bring in the ace himself. Edwin,
hello there.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Welcome. Did we lose him? Edwin?
Hello?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
I thought we lost you for a second there. So you've got a comic book coming out, and you're launching a crowdfunding campaign on Sunday, if memory serves. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your comic book and what's going on with that?
So yeah, my comic book is called The Ace, Volume 1. It's launching Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So please, everybody, go check it out. Yeah, it's basically the story of a young man who's looking for purpose in his life. and he comes across the remains of a shooting star, and what he finds there grants him the ability to transform into an armored being of immense power. And then, you know, basically his whole world is turned upside down after that. So
nice.
Cool.
That sounds like a really cool idea.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah, so I saw the video preview, and did it also say that then bounty hunters from other planets show up to come after him?
yeah, there's a bounty hunter called Akula ends up showing up at his front door. And he has to basically defend himself and his mom from this shark bounty hunter who wants to take the armor. He's not there to negotiate. So
yeah. Is the armor intuitive? Like, does he have to have a learning curve to use this? Is it kind of intuitive?
In some ways, but when the story starts, he's had the armor for about 6 months.
Okay.
Aha.
So I'm going to back it up a little bit, Edwin. Why don't you tell us how you got started and what what have you done in the past to get to this point, things like that.
I'm basically a lifelong comic book fan. You know, I grew up reading books like X-Men, Spider-Man, Darkhawk, which is a big inspiration on this comic book. You know, like my dream was always to be a comic book artist. You know, I dreamt of being the next Jim Lee. You know, sadly, I never had the artistic talent to do that. So, yeah. So, yeah, like I'm just a big comic book fan who's over the years I've, you know, Marvel, DC, Image, you know, I've collected basically most of my life. And, you know, I've always written little side stories and different kind of things, created my own characters, you know. But, you know, to me, the idea of actually being a creator was always kind of far-fetched and not really something that was feasible. And then, you know, over the last 5 years, you know, everything that's happened with Comicsgate and this new indie movement has basically kind of broken the ceiling. And it's given people the ability, you know, if you can make your dreams happen now, you know, there's nobody that can stop you except for you. So it's created a new lane for, you know, aspiring creators like myself to link up with some talented, independent artists, you know, and be able to create their own comic book without, you know, needing to go to the big two to do it. So.
Yeah, I think watching the slow dismantling of the big two is fascinating to me. You know, it's amazing how maybe 5 years ago, I think that's about the time you pinpointed.
Yeah,
they were doing really well, and then for whatever reason, they decided to self-destruct and implode. And it's amazing. It's been DC in particular. Just watching the 3 waves of layoffs with another one coming is astounding to me. But you know, like you said, it opens the door. So, what was your inspiration to try a crowdfunded? Was it Ethan Van Sciver? Was it Cecil? Was it something like that? Or
I was Richard C. Meyer when he did. Yeah, the name escapes me right now. He did his first ever crowdfunding with John Malin. You know, that ended up being a huge success, and then you kind of saw, you know, other aspiring creators try their hand at it, and you saw that there's really a hunger for, like, you know, kind of these throwback stories and these classic heroes, and really that's kind of what started the idea and kind of in my head, and really kind of getting back to kind of starting to create, you know, and kind of come up with the stories that kind of been circling around in my head for years. So,
yeah, that's pretty awesome. And is this I'm guessing this is not your first one.
Yeah, this is my first.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Have you worked with anybody else in the past on one of these things, or?
No, but like I said, I am very familiar with a lot of creators. I've been around in this movement for a long time. I've kind of seen a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm part of this little crew called the Hardline, which has like Phil Diaz, who's done like Magic Cop. It's got Sim, who's got a Blood Hunt. So I'm very kind of familiar with a lot of creators who've already fulfilled and finished their own books, you know, creating more and more. So I've kind of leaned on them to kind of get this started. But I've been working on this idea basically for about 1.5 years now. So from the initial thought to writing down the script to hooking up with an editor to get it down in the comic book format, to finding artists and colorists and letterers. So it's been a long process before I even got ready to launch the mailing list.
Yeah, you kind of dovetail into where I wanted to go next. Like, can you talk a little bit about that process and in finding people? And just to let you know, Edson and Pete have both kind of ventured into this territory themselves. Pete, you've been looking for an artist for a while for one of your projects, and Edson, you've been working on something since high school with.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a process. You got to have a lot of patience. You kind of have to, like I said, I've been fortunate. I've gotten to know a lot of people, like Donald DeLay, who's doing the cover. He's doing the cover artist. I got to know him early on. Before he launched Brutus, I knew him. I was one of the guys pushing him to launch Brutus via crowdfund, because I love the idea and I love the character. I think his art is amazing. So I've been hanging out with Donald. We've been kind of friendly for a while. So by the time he launched his book and everything, and I supported that, and then when I asked him if he was free to do the cover, because I had another artist, but he kind of dropped off. So I reached out to Donald. He was game for it, and he did a tremendous job. So yeah, things have kind of worked their way for me. Like I had an original artist on the book. Again, he had family issues, so he had to drop off. And then that's when I got in contact with By Canales, which I've known him before he launched Ironsides with Zach, Richard Seameyer. So, hooking up with him, we already had like a rapport and stuff. So that was easy. I reached out to him. He told me he had a small window. I told him, it's done. And we hooked up and we got the art done. And so everything's kind of worked its way out. But yeah, like I said, me kind of being a part of this, like the last, 3-4 years, however long it's been, has really kind of been a way that I've been able to find a lot of artists. Like I know guys who worked with other guys in the hard line, and we kind of spread the word around. So it's that kind of just getting in the community and getting to know people and working, building a reputation. That you're not trying to scam anybody, you're not trying to get breaks. Like you're willing to pay what these artists what their page rates are, and they do the work. And like I said, here we are.
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, networking is huge, and we just launched this channel here about just over 3 months ago, and we joined the collective, and things have really started to pop since. But just to back it up a little bit, maybe explain. We get most of our views actually on the replay right now, although we are on Twitter and Facebook and everything live right now at the same time. Comicsgate has a weird misnomer, I think, hanging around it. People immediately make the assumption that it's a bunch of bad people. You want to address that and kind of dispel those myths?
It's like I said, it is a myth. Like Comicsgate is just a bunch of fans who've kind of had enough of like the political agenda driven comic books that have been forced on people's throat the last 5+ years from Marvel, DC, Image. These people aren't interested about telling classic superhero stories. They want to preach to you. They want to talk down to you. They want to, have the X-Men eating hot dogs that taste like bigotry and just pure nonsense. Like they're not worried about telling great classic stories. I love Marvel comics. Like I said, I grew up on it. The X-Men books and Spider-Man books, I love those books, man. Tom McFarlane, Jim Lee, Will Portacio. I grew up on that. I still, I track down the back issues anytime that I get a chance. I'll dive through a bin just to collect it because I love the art. I love the stories that are told in that. They've completely ignored what they were built on. And that's why their sales have cratered. And that's why, everybody's racist. Everybody's this, that. Like there's tons of minorities in Comicsgate. All right. Just because I'm Puerto Rican doesn't mean that you need to create a special Puerto Rican hero for me. It's cool if you do, like I like, if you want to try something, you want to create a character, but the character has to be first. His race comes last, Yeah. And so for these people want to put the race first and then the character traits go last. And that's not how it works. Nobody cares about that.
I'm with you. We saw the writers' room. I'm sure you've seen that the whiteboard from the Star Wars High Republic writers. Yeah, where they put diversity at the top and intriguing characters at the bottom.
It's pure madness. Like I don't think they wonder why people reject these caricatures. There's this fake what is it America Chavez and an alien pretending to be Spanish is about the most insulting thing you could do. Like, and you got to be kidding me here. Like, I'll take vibe breakdancing and speaking in jumbled Spanglish. That's less racist than America Chavez.
Yeah,
This is absolutely ridiculous. The stuff they're coming up with, and it's insulting. Nobody likes this. No, nobody wants that. They want classic heroes.
And they keep trying to ram it down your throat. I mean, you got Kevin Feige on Disney Investor Day, standing there talking about the very popular America Chavez is going to be jammed in. I forgot which production, and then we covered a story a couple weeks ago where they put the new Ms. Marvel in a Spider-Man suit because they can't sell Ms. Marvel as the face of Marvel on the surface, so they have to put her in a Spider-Man outfit to try to sell her. It's just it's sad. It's sad. You're absolutely right about it. We like to quote, I forgot the writer's name, I don't have it handy, but he said people don't hate diversity. What they hate are terrible scripts written by untalented writers pushing an agenda.
Yeah,
that's what we hate.
And comic books, they're their own thing. Like, comic books have to be about the story, the hero's powers. Well, what's his journey? Like, comic books specifically, like, that's the last thing showcasing a character's race or like their agenda. That's the last thing people care about. Like, first off, how's the costume? Does he or she look cool? Who are they fighting? Where's the, is he is he a member of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is he hanging out with the Avengers? Is he fighting Thanos? Is he fighting street level crime? Like, these are the stuff people want to get into, man. And they're giving you, like I said, like all these speeches. There's Avengers book. I saw some panels floating around, the Avengers giving political lectures to villains. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, what kind of nonsense is this?
Well, I don't know. Did you see recently where they had Batgirl join Antifa?
I mean, why not? These people, they wonder why why not just make it all a parody, because it doesn't matter. Like, I don't recognize these characters anymore. They've betrayed their core, and that's why people are just abandoning them. Nobody cares. I used to love, like I said, I love X-Men. I love Spider-Man. I cannot tell you the last time I cared about a Spider-Man or X-Men book. I haven't cared about the X-Men since Grant Morrison took over.
Oh, wow.
That's the characters aren't recognizable.
Yeah.
These people used to have cookouts. They used to be a family. When one of them fell, they mourned. They turned them into villains. They turned them into unlikable a-holes, basically. Like, nobody likes the X-Men. The X-Men are the few things I've seen from Hickman's run. I'm like, who are these people? This ain't Kitty Pryde. I loved Kitty Pryde. She was awesome. Unbelievably sweet, kind, the next generation of hero. And they've turned her to just this unbearable, just like awful character.
I had the very same experience. I used to love the X-Men, especially with Claremont and Forward. And this Hickman run, I picked it up and I'm like, just like you just said, who are these people? It's like they have familiar names that sometimes it brings up memories, but I don't recognize them at all. What are they doing here? I just dropped. I can't buy it anymore. It's incredible how far it's fallen so quick.
Yeah, you told me those books used to be the biggest selling thing in the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
You would turn around X-Men, an X-Men C-League title would sell almost 100,000.
Yeah, didn't Jim Lee's #1 sell like 7 million copies or something?
Yeah,
like
I think like last count it was like 8 million.
Yeah,
it's still selling somewhere.
Right.
Reprints and everything. Like, nobody cares, man. Nobody's going to touch you. You think people are just going to be like, people don't even like remember what's these characters like now. They've gone through so many changes, and people remember the iconic versions of them. Not whatever's passing. And they've done that to their entire line of heroes. So has DC now. I mean, it's embarrassing what's going on in DC Comics. I mean, they've lost complete control. Dan Didio has been just the worst. He should have been fired 10 years ago.
Yeah, they got them out this year, but then they followed it up with a huge house cleaning. It's gotten worse. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Future State run of comics, but you know, it's like they sat there watching Marvel and said, "Oh, hold my beer, watch this." When you got a Flash with fake legs.
Hey man, Marvel's topped them. Now they're doing Heroes Reborn.
Oh yeah,
I know.
I just read that. Yeah,
AKA Marvel Amalgam.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
They keep going. It's like just when you think they've reached the rock bottom, they get more shovels and start digging more.
When you hit the bottom of the barrel, you see if you lift up the barrel, you see all the stuff that's underneath.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can divulge much about your crowdfunding campaign that we're looking at here, but because it hasn't actually gone off yet, but do you have certain prize levels you can talk about, or is that all just top secret?
You know, we have like a lot of standard tiers. It's not too fancy. I'm gonna have like the book tier, which is gonna be just the book itself. I'll have the digital version of the book. The thing with the mailing list, what happens is offering an exclusive trading card if you sign up and back the book. So that's kind of, if you want like a cool like a trading card that's going to be exclusive, you're not going to reprint it any other way. The only way to get it is going to be through signing up for the mailing list, and then backing the book. I'll send a secret link which will have the book plus the trading card for no extra cost. So it'll be a cool exclusive. If you scroll down, it's the first actual image on the mailing list there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right there.
Very cool.
On the left right there. Yeah, that's had to crop it out because of like the mailing list isn't the best for images, but yeah, you get like an idea of what the trading card is.
Yeah, I cut that out and used it on the thumbnail.
Yeah,
this one too.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
that's one of the panels. The Angel Chick, she's one of the panels from a page of the actual book. There's a little story. This character Angelique. She's a little 4-page origin story, and the art is by the How Comics. He did Lost Pages, the Masquerade story from that book. Tremendous artist. Like he does the pencils and the colors. Wow. Just really cool. Like I've been very fortunate with the guys that I've worked with. Sweens. If you look a little further down there, the panel on the left.
Okay.
That's by Sweens from Oddity.
Actually, I think you sent me these pages, didn't you?
Yeah, on the email.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the better version, so you can see like the full thing.
I'll pull those up. Let's see here.
Yeah, and then the image on the right is by Canales, which is the main artist on the book. And yeah, so it's basically going to be the main story, which is Ace fighting Akula. Then it's going to have a little epilogue story, which is going to be I compare it to Lost a bit. Kind of like when you're following the survivors of the crash. Mm-hmm. You're following their story, and then they'll introduce a hatch, and you're like, what's going on with this hatch thing? Like you'll be like, what is this? So it's kind of one of those things that's gonna dovetail into the main story eventually. But it's not gonna be as linear as like the main story. You just kind of jump around a bit. So it's very interesting. Sweens has done a tremendous job. Like the art and the colors on this are just beautiful. And like I said, this is just one of the little pages. Doesn't have any spoilers or anything, but it's really fun epilogue story that he's completely drawn and colored. Like I said, it's completely different style from Oddity, which is cool. People get to see like a different version of what he can do as an artist. And I think he's an incredible artist, man. Like I'm very happy. He's actually the guy who helped create the character. So it's great to get him on there. Like I said, this is the panel. I'm only showing the panel right now because basically the 4 pages are basically a spoiler. It's kind of like it's basically like the one panel I can show that doesn't really spoil anything. Yeah, so this is a character that's in the book. That's not actually Angelique. Angelique has red hair. She has metal wings. But yeah, this is a panel from the like I said, he does a great job. Hal does beautiful colors. Like I said, I've been very fortunate with being able to hook up with all these guys and be able to, they've all taken the script to another level.
Really great line work. It's very clean, very bold, good contrast to it.
Yeah, and this is one of the interior pages. Is actually a flashback. The character, his name's David Diaz, and this is kind of like a short, quick like flashback. You know, he shows him seeing the shooting star crash. Then he goes and finds the wreckage, and he finds the object that allows him to transform into the Ace.
Nice, classic story.
Yeah, this is the full trading card right here. Yeah, it's a artist called Artsider. He's done pinups for other other projects like Tilt 2. Very, very talented. He also does the colors, and he blew me away with that design and the look for him. So yeah,
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So how much you looking to raise?
The goal is 3,500.
I think that's very doable.
Yeah.
See why you can't get that.
So yeah, like I said, as far as the tiers go, it's going to be simple. You have the book, the digital tier. I have a book and the print tier, and then a book, print, and this poster that a lot of the Hardline guys worked on. It's the first ever jam piece.
Wow. Oh, very nice.
It has art by Joe Ball, Sweens, Sim, Passion for Drawing, and Brandon Diaz. So it's got 5 different artists drawing like their own characters in like this big like mashup piece, which is pretty sick.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're just gonna keep it pretty simple, but yeah, it's gonna have some cool different things, and yeah, trying to see if get this funded, because I've already written script for Volume 2. It's already in Canales' hands, so we're just looking to get this funded so we can start working on it.
Nice.
I think you'll be able to do it. You're doing a 30-day campaign, right? Oh, we lost him.
Oh no!
We'll get him back. We'll get him back.
That is awesome. That looks cool.
I love this.
I was just going to ask him about this too, because I'm a big, you know me, I'm a big King Shark fan. It kind of looks like King Shark.
I wish I had some of that ability to draw things that looked cool like that.
You can write.
Yeah. I'm always impressed by people that can just visualize something in their head and make it in the world. It's just so.
If you go out to eat with Paul Harriet, he'll take a pen, like an ink pen, and he'll draw on the napkin, and he'll have the most amazing art at the end.
I'm in awe of that type of talent. It's just so cool.
Sorry, we lost you there, Edwin.
Yeah, StreamYard sometimes gets buggy with my connection. But yeah, that's the cover by Donald DeLay, colors by Theo Gonzalez. They're the team behind Brutus, so I was lucky enough to get them both to do this, man. I love this piece. It captures everything in the book.
This would make a great poster too.
Yeah, I've gotten some thoughts about that. You know, I'm gonna see what the demand is. You know, we could definitely make it happen if there's enough demand for it. So,
well, you got one right here, so there's the start. So was the Shark Bounty Hunter inspired by King Shark at all?
Mostly Lobo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lobo.
I mean, you know, he is a giant talking shark, so you know, it's obviously gonna have some influence. But
yeah,
he's mostly inspired by Lobo. You know, he's kind of he's a very fun character to write. You know, I've already come up with different story ideas and stuff for him in the future. So he's been a favorite definitely. Anytime I show Nar, everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's the giant shark!"
Yeah, I was like, you know, going to your character design when you mentioned that it's a throwback to 90s comics, and that was the era of like big armor, big guns, and the whole bit, and you definitely got that going on here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It definitely has a very 90s vibe about it.
Yeah, definitely. Those are, you know, I love those books. You know, anytime, like I said, it's kind of like a bit of a homage to them, but you know, kind of with my own sensibilities and kind of, you know, my own kind of storytelling. But yeah, definitely, I love the big over the top heroes and villains. That's definitely, I think it's a big draw though. You know, I used to go to like the comic book shop and I would just like stare at covers. You know, like I would just be like, look at, and then I see like Cable with 30 pouches and just giant gun. I'm like, who is that? And you know, it made me I would just gravitate and grab the comic and go through it and be like, this is ridiculous. I'm getting this. You know, like that's how it used to be. You know, you used to like get these books and then they used to just attract you. You know, you're trying to like do it a different way here.
You know, it's so funny when it you know, we haven't met, but you have the same story that like anybody I know who's a friend of mine who's into comics has. Like we all have that same sensibility and that same story and the same things appealed to us, and we all do that. You know, we went in and just look at something like Cable with the big giant shoulder pads and the big gun and everything, and you had to have it. You had to have it.
There's a reason those books sold like they did. You know,
Right.
that wasn't a people can say, you know, it was collectors, it was this and that. No, the books looked cool. Like you wanted to get them in your hand. You wanted to look at them. That doesn't happen anymore.
Well, I think you're right. And the biggest takeaway, I think, in modern comics is you've lost the fantasy and you've lost the epic storytelling. Like they don't, like you said, there's the agenda comes first, and there's not much creativity left behind it. And we just did a story. I don't know if you were on in the background or whatnot, but they're rebooting the Clone Saga using Miles Morales. Like, you can't get much more Xerox than that, right? like
you know, the high demand of the Clone Saga, really.
Yeah.
You know, people have been clamoring. People have been clamoring Marvel nonstop to revisit those days.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, and it's just they're recycling old ideas badly, and then they're doing it with a gender swap or a race swap or whatever you want to call it. Something happened, and you're right. Comics back in the day, Jim Lee 7-8 million copies. The Death of Superman, how many did that sell? About the same, right?
Yeah, pretty close. It's several million, you know, when it was all said and done.
Yeah, they were selling in the millions. Now they struggle to sell 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
A normal book, like not your Spider-Man, not your Batman, like, you know, a Daredevil comic struggles to sell.
I've seen books like Green Lantern selling like 25,000-30,000. Even with Grant Morrison, I'm sorry, but you know, once you kill the enthusiasm, it's very hard for people to jump back on. Like, you know, like you really basically have to reboot things in a major way to get people to come back. Because once you lose that trust, it's gone. As I said about the X-Men, like I haven't been able to I check up on the X-Men because I love them, but you know, like the trust hasn't been there since Morrison took over. And that's comic book fans are weird like that. You know, they're as loyal as they come, but when they reach their breaking point, you gotta move heaven and earth to get them back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you can't play around with them. And what's the thing, touching on like we were talking about, the thing that really I think infuriates me is just how fake the agenda is. Because you see, if they really wanted diversity, you know, as they claim, they could have it. Perfect example is Spider-Man, right? You want to tell about Spider-Man, right? You want to bring in more minorities. Let's say that's the gimmick, right? Yeah, that's what these people claim. Why don't you showcase Miguel O'Hara?
Right.
He's a minority.
Yeah.
He's got the second best suit of Spider-Man of all time.
That's a cool suit.
He's beloved, cult classic comic book. They haven't touched him. He checks all their boxes, except they can't, because probably Peter David would lose his mind if they ended up making Miguel a parody, you know, and they would never hear the end of it. So they have to create, you know, this other half Hispanic, half black Spider-Man. So it's not real agenda. It's a gimmick. You know, they don't really want to showcase, you know, you want to showcase the women. Who has better female characters than the X-Men?
Oh, that's right on the head. Yep. You nailed that
one.
Right.
Nobody. Storm, Jean Grey, Rogue, Psylocke, freaking Kitty Pryde before they destroyed her, Jubilee.
Yeah.
Amazing characters. Made them all completely unlikable, unbearable, and nothing like they were in their most iconic versions.
I noticed you left Dazzler out of that list.
Oh, I love Dazzler. Dazzler, long shot. You know, that's my dynamic duo. But
and they had all these. You're right. They had all these characters. They were fully established. They fully developed, and all they had to do was create a story around them, and you have the loyal fans following right along. And it's like you had it right there. What's the problem?
One of my favorite characters in X-Men is Aurora Monroe, Storm. I love Storm.
Yes, Storm is amazing.
Great character.
I mean, the first ever X-Men comic book I picked up was Uncanny X-Men. I believe it was 283. Her and Bishop facing off on the cover. Are you kidding me? I saw that in the stands. I was like, "What is this?" I saw that Will Sportatio cover. I was like, I don't even care what's inside this. I'm grabbing this. I'm taking this home and reading it. You know,
and it's funny with Storm, even in the comics, it feels like she's so underutilized, not just as a character, but as with her powers. It's just like she controls the elements and whatnot, and it just seems like they never use her the right way, especially in the movies. I was so mad at how she was represented in the movies by Halle Berry. It was just awful, and it's not Halle Berry's fault. Clearly, it's
no. But like I said, it's not real. It's not a real like agenda. It's a gimmick. Because like you said, if you wanted somebody to lead the X-Men in this new era, who better than Storm? Storm has been a leader since the 80s. You could easily make Storm the lead of the current X-Men and nobody would question it because Storm has credibility with the fans.
Right.
Nobody would ever question Storm's the leader. Hell yeah, Storm's the leader. You know? Like, but no, they have to make Kitty Pryde. You know, like this weirdo version of Kitty Pryde. It's not even like classic Kitty Pryde. It's some weirdo, you know, just now she's apparently she's a lesbian now instead of being in love with Colossus. Now, you know, it's like
she's had a whole history of relationships with men. Now all of a sudden, oh yeah, she was a lesbian the whole time. Oh, that's really believable.
And Iceman too. They had the
yeah.
Well,
Same
look
thing
what they just did to because of Chris Pratt. Like, make no mistake, Chris Pratt gets in trouble with the Twitter mob, right? The SJW weirdos on Twitter, and suddenly, we lost Edwin again.
Lost him again.
I was teeing him up here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait for he gets back.
That was really good.
Yeah. No, he's great. Let me just pull up his website again here while we're waiting for him to come back, and hopefully we can help him get some backers here for this. So I don't think it'll be hard for him to get $3,500 to make this book.
Oh no, absolutely not. No, he'll make that in spades.
Yeah.
You see,
the Ace of Spades
card reference.
That goes.
The Ace of Spades.
Yeah, the Ace of Spades.
That goes for the two of you with your projects too. You should definitely look into doing something like this.
Yeah, that's actually the plan. It's just I got to find an artist that I like to actually make it happen.
I was teeing you up, Edwin, and you dropped again. But
yeah, like I said, StreamYard's been acting kind of weird with my connection for some reason. So
we get the StreamYard echo bug. It just shows up out of nowhere for no reason, and you know
it's weird.
I forgot what I was teeing you up with.
It was about Chris Pratt and
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt and.
So Chris Pratt gets in trouble with the Twitter mob, and you know the weirdos attack him for being an istinophobe and all these kind of things because he wouldn't go to a Joe Biden dinner fundraiser that he wasn't even invited to anyway. And then 2-3 weeks later, suddenly they announced that Star-Lord, thank you. I just totally blanked. What happens when you don't eat dinner? Star-Lord is going to be bisexual now. Of course, tell me that is not a direct shot at Chris Pratt.
Yeah, that's what they do. You know, they're not interested about telling great stories. They want to push their agenda, their grudges. I mean, you've heard about them turning Doug Ernst into a Moon Knight villain.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. He does a great video. I think he has a post on his blog about it. It's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, apparently Moon Knight, it's fighting some Nazi called Ernst.
Well, and I'm sure that'll trickle down to the Moon Knight television show.
Yeah, you know, who cares about telling cool stories? You know, like let's just push our agenda and you know, go at our enemies and just do anything except tell good stories that people will remember for years. And maybe, I don't know, bring some sales to your company that's in desperate need of.
Now you're talking crazy here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we can't have this.
Can't be having that.
You know, it's funny. You kind of brought me up to today. I used all my restraint. Tom King tweeted, What's one comic book memory that lives rent free in your brain? And I wanted to get the Jay Lee cover of Cyberfrog and tweet it back to him and say, the day I decided to never buy a book you write again because of what you did to Jay Lee.
I have an image. You destroying Wally West as a character.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Hack.
There you go.
How about what he did to Batman? Oh my God. Yeah. But you know, you were kind of going that way, Edwin, with these writers and artists who take to social media and attack the customers and are allowed to do it by the companies that run them. You know, the DC and the Marvel and the AT&T, Warner and Disney, the larger companies. Yeah, how in the sales are dropping, and yet they continue to let these guys go on there and attack fans. It's inexplicable to me how that happens.
Yeah, well, their loss is indie comics game. So now you get to enjoy these books that come to you made with love and care and people who put their heart and soul into this. And want to just tell you some fun stories that you can pick up and enjoy, and have maybe a new favorite hero that you can follow for the next couple of years. So
what I think is funny too is you see the the Whisper Network and the gatekeepers of mainstream comics now that are seeing the success of all these independent crowdfunding comic book opportunities, and now they're all this should be stopped, ban this crap. Have you seen all this, like the reactions, especially now that you've got like Keanu Reeves jumping in there, and they've always been mad at EVS. Every EVS throws up goes over.
Trusting the narratives for years. Back when Richard first put out Jawbreakers, they've been they look at this art, and then Ethan did Cyberfrog, and then, what did you have to say about your art? Like everything that they've look at this bad writing, and then you got people like Doug Ernst writing a book. Well, what did you say about the writing? Like every time they come out with a new, it just gets struck down. At this point, now they're trying to jump on the crowdfund. Now they're trying to pull their resources, trying to catch up. It's too late, man. You've been blown away. Yeah. The art is better, the stories are better, the fans' loyalty has been amazing. Now you got to catch up.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm just finished.
I was just going to say you're spot on, and the fans are aware of who the gatekeepers are and who the people are who've caused this schism in the industry. They know the Kelly Sue DeConnicks, the Mark Wades, the Tom Kings. They know who these people are, and they're not going to back their campaigns. I mean, here's a good example, and it did well by normal people's standards. But Scott Snyder and who did he team up with? Was it Tony Daniel?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Tony. Yes.
And they put up a crowdfunding. Now they were like DC A-listers, and they only brought in a couple 100,000 versus, EVS over $1 million, Keanu Reeves over $1 million. So it's because they were part of that whole Whisper Network.
Definitely Scott Snyder was. Tony Daniels is a tremendous artist. And like I said, I would have gladly backed Tony Daniels' book if it wasn't for Snyder. Right. So they're losing sales even from Comicsgate. Because we buy comics, but we won't support people like that. So they've lost money that they could have made, because of their actions.
Yeah, and so when you have people like Kelly Sue DeConnick or I'm trying to think of Mags Visaggio, these kind of people. Yeah, and so now their strategy is to try to build the reputation that Comicsgate is some kind of horrible alt-right movement against comics and against the people creating comics. And it's just
really
a total
weird, bizarre stuff. I mean, there's tons of like I said, minority.
I think the stream.
Really
there he is.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there? Oop.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
There you are. Okay. Yeah, we lost that whole. Yeah, we lost that whole bit. Basically, I asked you about Comicsgate being some kind of alt-right movement against comic books, and
yeah, I was just saying, like I'm a Democrat. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of independents. There's a lot of people who just don't even care about politics.
Right.
Like don't even care. Vote for who, do what. No, I want cool comics.
Yep.
But sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, if you draw the parallel over to the Star Wars universe, we just got done talking about, and we talk about it ad nauseum, the rift inside of Lucasfilm, and the two different. You have the story group, and then you have the Favreau-Filoni group. And the Favreau-Filoni group are very apolitical, and they're just telling good Star Wars stories, as proven by The Mandalorian. And then you've got the story group that made the sequel trilogy, and now this High Republic stuff. And it's just so obvious that there's an agenda on one side, and the other side's just trying to make good Star Wars.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, what's wrong with having our entertainment be escapist? It's been like that for thousands of years. Why is that suddenly a problem?
Well, because you have to be lectured to, and you have to learn something.
Oh, okay, all right. My mistake again. I'm problematic. I'm clearly an idiot. Let's not all agree in one. Let's not all disagree at once here.
No, and I hear what you're saying too, Edwin. That I think one of the most startling things is where it's coming from. It's a really radical faction of the left, which you really wouldn't expect it to come from. No. Maybe a connection issue again.
Oh.
Edwin?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, like I said, the connection just gets a little wonkier by the minute.
Yeah,
sadly.
yeah, no worries.
I gotta figure something out with this, but yeah, it's like like the Star Wars, another thing that they just completely destroyed and just turned people against. Like it's so sad what's happened.
Yeah, just watching we just went over all the drama from this weekend. It's like, it I don't even know how to relate. It's just like watching. I don't know what it's like watching. It's like watching a bunch of children, I guess, fighting over something. Severe first world problems for sure. I mean, there's a lot bigger problems in the world than fighting over Star Wars. But yeah.
You're sure?
No, I'll get back to you on that. So let's project forward a little bit here. Your book, you hit your goal, you exceed your goal. I'm calling it today, Edwin. Today at 9:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are going to exceed your goal, and you're going to get your book out, and then the coof is going to go away, and we're going to have Comic-Cons again. Are you going to hit a few Comic-Cons? Is that in the plan?
Yeah, I would love to. Like, there's a terrific con around where they have it. They've had it every year, probably for the last 4 or 5 years. I always go there. I would love to get a table there, and then be able to show this book to people once it's finished. Be able to overprint. Hopefully get some extra copies and be able to sell it. Person to person. That'd be very cool.
Okay, hold on a second. We got to stop right there. Full stop. Put the car in neutral. Terrificon, and you've been to Terrificon?
Yeah, since it started.
You and I think we know each other. We might have already had our paths may have crossed before.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm friends with Mitch Halleck, who puts the show together.
Oh, nice.
And I've been there pretty much every year since year 2 or 3, and I've had tables there because I'm working on a Charlton Comics documentary. I bet we've met before.
Yeah, we probably have. I've done the circles around those indie artist tables. I've done the rounds there. It's one of my favorite conventions. They do a nice mix of having the TV stars, but they're not overshadowed with the classic creators. They have a lot of the legends and stuff. They also have all the up and comers, and also it's a nice mix of things. So yeah, I've enjoyed it since the first one. Me and my buddy used to go every year. Like I said, it was bummed out when everything happened and it got canceled. Hopefully, next year or two it'll be back and the tables and everything will be going again.
Well, he's got it scheduled for the end of July, and knock on this fake computer desk thing, whatever it is, that it happens. And I would love to meet you in person. Are you from the East Coast? You're clearly.
I'm on the East Coast. Yeah.
Are you in Connecticut or are you in New York?
Oh no, a little further up.
Oh, Massachusetts?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Boston area?
West.
Oh, you're in Berkshires. Are you out? You're out in the Berkshires somewhere?
Yeah, Western Mass.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Doug Trumbull has a studio up there. I'm friends with Doug Trumbull, so I'm up there too a lot. Yeah, that's crazy. What a small world. I bet you we've spoken before. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, cool. Because I'd love to get meet you on the convention scene and everything else. Have you done them before? Have you actually had a table there before?
No, I've just only ever gone as a fan. But like I said, I like going and meeting new artists and stuff, getting commissions done. I've always appreciated that. And like I said, I like the size of it. It's not too big because I've been to the New York Comic Con and you had it so claustrophobic, and it's just like as great as it was to go, like it literally just like for a second there, I'm going through the traffic. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. There's just so many people. Every inch of me is surrounded by people. Yeah,
that was like the one. Yeah, that's the one convention when it got canceled. I went, okay, good. Yeah, I have a funny story about it. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2017 or 18. Reed Pop found out we were doing the Charlton Comics. Now, they didn't know it was a documentary because they didn't do their homework. They just saw Charlton Comics movie and thought, oh, another comic book movie. Let's capitalize. So they asked us to come do a live stream on the stage at New York Comic Con. So we got the media passes and the whole bit. And we went and did it, and they had no idea what we were doing. It was real. Good thing I asked before we went on, because I actually had to give the host all the talking points because he had no clue. They had no idea. But that's not the story. The story is that I've had a weird relationship with Jose Garcia Lopez. Jose worked for Charlton he didn't even know he was working for Charlton. He used to get hired from his agent to draw romance comics when he lived down in Argentina, and he would just draw them. He didn't know what it was for or anything. So he's part of the documentary, and he avoided doing interviews. He's scared. So at Terrificon 4 years ago or 5 years ago now, 2016, I kept bumping into him. Like I bumped into him at Starbucks. I bumped into him in bathrooms. I bumped into him at the snack shops, the food court. Everywhere I went, there was Jose. So we got to talking, and we became kind of friendly. So he said, you know what? I like you. I'll do the interview, which was awesome. I love Jose. He's the best. Flash forward to that New York Comic Con. Edwin, you know how many people are there?
Yeah.
You can't move. 3 times in one day. I'm on the escalator. I turn around. Right behind me is Jose. I go in the bathroom. There's Jose. Like I have some kind of kindred connection to Jose Garcia Lopez.
That's awesome.
He probably thinks you're a stalker.
No, we laugh about it. It's just kind of, it's kind of strange. And I couldn't be, if it is some kind of weird cosmic connection, I couldn't be connected to a better guy. He's just the best. I love Jose. So if you get a chance to meet Jose Garcia Lopez at a con, take the opportunity. He's the best. So that's my funny story.
Yeah, I know. I missed him. I missed him at Terrificon. Yeah.
Yeah. Last time I saw him was 2 years ago. We had a table at Terrificon, year before last, and he was across from us. And I went over. I was like, "Hey, Jose," and he's like, "Oh, do I know you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Of course you do." And he's like, "No, doesn't ring a bell." And then he looked past me at Jackie, and he goes, "Her, I remember." Not you. Ball break. Yeah, he's a great guy. And you're right. That's what I like. What Mitch does right about that convention is it's comics first, entertainment second.
Yeah.
Where the other ones, the big cons, are cash grabs. They'll bring Chris Evans in and parade him out there, and $100 a photo and $100 an autograph. And oh yeah, but the guys who write and draw Captain America, they're way down at the end of the building in the concrete bunker.
Yeah.
And they don't even say go visit them. They don't even care. And I heard someone, I've said this a million times, but I was walking around the floor and I heard a girl behind me say, "Oh my God, why are they selling so many comics at this stupid thing?"
Comic Con.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're there to see movie stars.
Well, I would like that part.
Become like an entertainment con.
Yeah. No, it really should be called like Pop Culture Con or something like that.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Yeah, I've been to those. They're just not as fun. I want to meet the creators. I want to meet all these guys working and doing comics and stuff, and be able to chat with Mark Bagley and just tell them how much I love New Warriors.
Yeah. Now, what about Daniel Kibblesmith? Do you want to meet Daniel Kibblesmith and
No.
talk about the new Warriors?
No, I would fear what would happen if I met him.
So you're not into Snowflake and Safe Space, I take it?
Not at all. Dora, the Not Explorer, you know.
Did you buy his book, Santa Claus's Husband?
No, but I heard about that. That was quite a laugh.
Gary from Nerdrotic actually read it on the air at Christmas.
Yeah, I saw the stream. It was classic.
Yeah,
you can't make it up, you know.
No, you can't. And that's been for me the best part of doing the Charlton Project is I became friends with guys I grew up reading. Sadly, a lot of them passed away in the last couple of years. Denny O'Neil and Joe Sinnott and people like that. But it's a crazy ride. You know, I said to Jackie, my co-producer, we interviewed Roy Thomas and we were walking out of the building and Neil Adams is like, "Hey guys, come over." And Neil waved us over to talk for an hour about things, just about life. And we've done nothing in comics. Nothing. Why is Neil Adams our friend? How does that make any sense? And everywhere I go, everywhere Neil is, he's always like, "Hey kids, hey man." You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's cool.
So let's get back to you. Why don't you promote this thing one more time?
So yes, the Ace, it is launching Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be hanging out with on the Red Gaze YouTube channel, doing a little launch stream. I'll probably be streaming all day that day. I think I'm going to be on Vinny's around 7, and then I'll finish off with Michael Bancroft at 11. It's going to be a full day of promoting, and you know, like I said, you have a couple of days to sign up for the mailing list. It'll get you that very, very cool exclusive trading card. So yeah, it's coming in a few days. I appreciate everybody who's tweeted, retweeted, and you know, shared the campaign. It's been great. You know, like I've seen all the people their excitement for it. It's really, you know, it's very motivating.
Cool.
Well, it's always great to see people who are doing something creative for themselves and you know, scratching that itch, if you will, without having to go and beg for a minimum wage job at Marvel or DC, right?
Yeah, you know, don't have to kiss the ring, you know, try and tell the kind of story that you want to tell, how you want to tell it, and, you know, put everything that you have into it, you know, and hopefully, you know, the end result, people will enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Please send the links to us on, you know, as you move forward with your live streams and all that kind of stuff this weekend, especially Sunday when you do launch this thing. Definitely want to keep it out there for you and keep it fresh. And you're always welcome to come back if you want to come back, like, you know, mid campaign. And
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Totally up to you. It's kind of cool. I had no idea you were so close. So maybe some more collaborations down the road.
Maybe, you know, like you said, small world, you know, you never know who you'll bump into.
It really is. Randomly, I met PJ from Orville Nation on New Year's Eve in Doomcock's live stream. And it was just random. I mean, there's like 900 people in the chat, you know, and on that stream. And I saw him tweet something about Avery Brooks or chat something about Avery Brooks. And I wrote him and said, what's that all about? And he said, DM me on Twitter and I'll tell you. And I did. And since then, like, PJ helped us get into the collective, and that's how I met you. And things are just moving forward at a crazy rate. I can't keep up, but this is great. This is great. It's a great community so far, and I'm really excited. And I wish you all the best with everything.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on. This was fun.
I will be checking that out Sunday.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely be catch me on Twitter at Edwin Aces. I'll be sharing out links pretty much every day, so you can keep the progress. You know, showing different art, different, you know, the trailer. I always try to share something different almost every day, just to kind of give people an idea what they're getting. You know, without giving to anything too spoilery.
Yeah,
but,
isn't that tough?
No, it is. There's so many cool pages and panels. I'm like, I gotta hold on to this. This isn't like a big 60-page book. It's gonna be like it's 32 pages, so it's just it's a little bigger than a floppy. So you don't want to just have people look at the book and be like, oh, I've already seen these pages.
Right.
You want to kind of keep it when they look at, oh, I haven't seen this. Oh, this is new. I want them to have that surprise because, like I said, Canales and all these guys have done a great job. The stuff that they put in, they've taken the script to another level. So I want people to, when they get the book, to thumb through it and be really enjoy all the art and all the new panels and everything without being too spoiled for them.
Yeah, you don't want to be like that movie trailer that shows like the Thor Ragnarok trailer revealing the Hulk. Like they should have saved that.
Yeah.
Now you go to the movie and you can't wait till the Hulk. Where's the Hulk? When's he coming? You shouldn't even know he's coming. That should be a big surprise. Yeah, I got another question for you real quick, Edwin. Digital comics versus print comics. Go.
Print, obviously I understand why you offer the digital, especially overseas, the shipping and stuff, can get pricey. But you got to have that comic book in your hand. You got to look through the art, every panel, every line, every color. The little the lettering. There's something about holding a comic book. I think I've gotten 5 books from Comicsgate delivered the last week. Every time I open up a package and I just open it and go through the art and hold it in my hand, I'm like, wow, I remember backing this a year ago, and here it is. Full color, beautiful looking book. I'm just like, it brings that excitement, because like I said, I've kind of, it's been years since I've been at a comic book shop, there's no real need to, so, this is my comic book experience now when I get these Indiegogo campaigns ship and I get them home and they have all the cool stuff, stickers, trading cards, all this other stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. And actually you brought me onto another point I forgot to ask you is, when can people expect, or do you not know at this point? When the campaign closes.
It's July.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, like I said, if we can get it out early, we can. But like I said, while the art and the letters are finished on the book, there's still a lot of kind of little things, and especially with the mail, how it is, and I'm gonna need to know how many copies to order and how much, how I'm gonna ship it. I'm still working. Actual fulfillment's gonna be so there's gonna be a lot of kind of hurdles and stuff that go in the way. So you always want to give yourself some time, because especially with the shipping, man, it's bad. The shipping is the worst it's been in years. So
yeah, some of the stuff sent out around Christmas time is just getting there now. It's really ridiculous. But
I'm sending stuff to Canada. It's taking 4 weeks to get there, and this is a simple package, a little Gemini mailer to Canada. It's
well, they probably quarantined it for 2 weeks, right? Because it probably got coof all over it. No, I'm not being funny. I think they're holding things up just to make sure. Yeah. And then they have to do the ultraviolet light on it and stuff. So I think it just gets held up until they can disinfect it when it's crossing the border. I think I could be wrong.
I mean, it certainly makes sense. If that's the case, it wouldn't surprise me.
Probably makes dollars and cents at that point. Dad joke. Well, Edwin, you're welcome to hang out the rest of the way. We got a couple more stories. If not, you're free to go. But we wish you all the best. It was great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta drop off. I gotta get some things done before I gotta call it a night. But it was great being out here and talking with you guys. Hope we do it again soon in the future.
And before you go too, please make sure you promote your YouTube channel to everyone.
Yes. You can find me if you search Drawing Aces. You'll find my YouTube channel. I do live streams every Friday and Sunday. Sundays I do a movie watch along stream. Fridays I do a little promotional pimp stream, we call it. We promote different creators and their books. And it's just a fun kind of trying to build up the channel right now. Just trying to get as many eyeballs as I can to kind of help promote and spread the word about different projects and stuff. So
that's where we're at.
To that. And also, you can also subscribe to my pro wrestling channel. It's called Indie Wrestling Aces. It's close to 6,000 subs right now.
Really?
I think I'm 80 away, about 80, 85 away. Yeah, it's the channel basically got killed once the virus happened, because I used to film stuff from independent matches and load them, but there's been no independent wrestling going on for the past like year. So, but hey, you're still getting subs, and there's a lot of content I've uploaded, so there's plenty of videos to watch. If you like indie wrestling, you can go check that out. How I'll be doing a cool little giveaway at 6,000 for all the support. So,
that's cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, I caught some of your Office Space stream the other night.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun. I forgot how funny that movie was. Like, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, Mike Judge, man. Who knew that Idiocracy was a documentary, right?
Oh yeah, we'll probably be watching that soon. We'll probably be watching that one next.
Oh really? Oh yeah.
We might. We've got to put up a poll for it, but that might be nice.
Yeah, I just watched that about 2 months ago, and it's scary how close we're getting.
It is. It's amazing. You thought the Simpsons predicted the future, but no.
Yeah. God. Cool. Yep. All right. Well, Edwin, good luck. I will definitely be backing this project, as everyone who watches and listens should.
Absolutely.
And definitely keep us apprised, and you're welcome back anytime you want, man.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks again. Guess have a good night.
Hail to you, sir.
Thank you.
Hail.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
What a great guy. It was a lot of fun.
That was cool.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. God, he's right around the corner. Can you believe that?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Why not, right?
World.
It's just insane. But yeah, a lot of great stuff. Boy, Edson, I was thinking of you a lot the whole time. I mean, he sounds like us, man.
Exactly. all the stuff he said, especially since he homed in on the X-Men and Spider-Man. It was just exactly all the experiences I had too.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because he ended up on this show because he just put in the group. We have a group DM on Twitter, and he just put, I'm looking to get on as many channels as I can to help promote my crowdfunding campaign. And I said, you're welcome to come on our show. So bang, bang, boom, here he is. So
cool.
Very cool.
I really like that art that he was showing. That art was great.
Maybe you want to dig him for.
Yeah, I might actually be doing that.
Yeah. I mean, he's got several people, and he had a couple guys doing covers and posters. He's got 3 or 4 artists there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I might actually hit him up for that.
And you should be able to find 1 out of 4, right? That works for your story.
Could
you've already gone through 2 artists now? You've gone through?
I've gone through 2 artists now, yeah. It's so I'm being very thorough.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you want to be. So
yeah.
Then you got to launch your fundraiser and get your book out there.
Exactly. So what the fresh hell is this?
We know what it is.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says that. It's gonna say GeekTime TV. What in the fresh hell is this?
I stole that from somewhere. So
it's the delivery though. That's what sells it. Yeah, this came this morning, and again another. I think I have lumps all over my head from just bang. Disney decides they're going to parent for us, and they're going to get rid of 4 of their classic films because of racial stereotyping. So the films in question are it's in here somewhere.
Peter Pan, The Aristocrat,
The Aristocats, Peter Pan,
Dumbo,
Swiss Family Robinson, and Dumbo. Now, here's
you realize those crows. Well, the crow, one of those things has like a.
Because the name's Jim Crow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, they are pretty.
No,
they
have very stereotypical voice.
They're
white people doing these very stereotypical voices of specific.
Yeah.
Right. Now, here's the funny part. I mean, Peter Pan. You don't get much more soy than Peter Pan.
Well, they have the.
They call the native.
They call them the Indians and Native Americans that are in there. Yeah.
They did. I mean,
No, I mean that we have to acknowledge that these stereotypes are like inappropriate. They were, you know, and what's acceptable now and what was acceptable then, even though it probably shouldn't have been acceptable then. That's how things are, you know.
Yes,
I mean,
you hit it on the head. We have to acknowledge it. It doesn't mean
exactly.
we have to
And I don't. I like in the fall, and Disney, instead of taking them off, they are disclaimers, whether you agree with them or not. I think that's fair.
A disclaimer is right. One thing,
right, and because they didn't want to remove them completely. So I'm wondering what changed between the fall and now, because that's kind of was their.
I know exactly what happened, and it's not in this article, but Clownfish reported it, and it might be on the WDW. Or the Pirates and Princesses, WDW Pro. They've hired a sensitivity group.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They've hired a third party. Yeah. So basically they've hired a bunch of people who took gender studies and whatnot at school to come in and tell Disney what's offensive to everybody. So, yeah. So, and the thing, and I can't find it in here right now, but I know for a fact that what they did is they removed these from 7 and under. So 7 years old and down. So from 7 years old and up, this is still available. Now, I have an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
When she was like 4,
she wouldn't have noticed.
Whoosh, right? Yeah. Whoosh. As an 8-year-old,
yeah,
that's more impressionable.
Yeah.
So what are they accomplishing here? Because if they were going to do this, they got it backwards.
Right. Absolutely. I agree.
Exactly. Yeah.
I agree. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, I can kind of see the rationale of not just having it out there for anyone, because like, you know, children of like 10 years old could just happen upon it. Their parents aren't watching it with them. They're just, oh, what's this? And they watch it, and what they're seeing, their parents might not even be thinking about it, I guess.
Well, that said, we all watch this shit and we're fine.
No, but I know some people with racist undertones that aren't racist people. And it was because there was this ubiquitous drumbeat of what was acceptable.
Right. I get
you know what I'm
stereotypes
saying? It's there. And I think it's awesome to be able to raise children in an environment where that kind of stuff isn't so always under.
I suppose, but again, I watched all this stuff as a kid and it never occurred. None of that occurred to me. It was just like, whoosh, whatever. You know what I mean? It didn't turn me into a goose stepper.
I know, and I don't think that they're saying that it will. It's just, it's kind of, some of it's kind of disgusting, to be honest with you, by today's standards. Like,
well, of course,
you know, I'm not triggered. I'm not upset by it. I watched, what was I watching? Something recently, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, geez, like I watched Three's Company as a kid, like.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, and I watched at Three's Company recently. I'm like, oh my god, like
it's raunchy.
And it's like inappropriate, and it's just, you know, whatever. And but it was what it's, and I'm not saying those things should be disappeared from the earth. They just, you know, they need to be acknowledged for what they are. And
right. Well, what I don't understand is why they're hiding it from small children.
Yeah, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I don't understand that.
Well, it's because it's a big corporation who's just listening to this.
Yeah.
Advisory group who.
Right. Oh, we did something
there.
We did
something. And if you're paying people to look for that shit, guess what? They're going to find it.
Yeah.
They're getting paid to find shit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you can literally go through every single movie from 10 years ago and back, and every single episode of every single show, and you can find something in every one of those.
Oh, totally. But these are geared toward, these movies are geared toward children and families. So that's kind of different, you know.
But again, it's not targeting the right children.
Right. Like, I think that doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand that.
Give them a day or two, give them a week, they'll fix it. Yeah. You know, it's funny because I just got Mars Attacks on Blu-ray. I never replaced my old DVD that I got rid of.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it. And I watched it last night for the first time in a long time. And it struck me, it's 25 years old this year.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And it struck me as like a lot of what Edwin was just talking about with diversity that's there and it's not forced. A lot like what we talk about with Cobra Kai, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which now is being attacked for being too white, by the way.
Of course.
Because the two main characters are white and everybody else is really diverse. I don't get it. You know, but it's because the two main characters are white. That's why.
Yeah.
In Mars Attacks, you have two black boys who save the president from the Martians.
That's right.
You have a main character hero played by Jim Brown. And you know, I was just watching that last night. I'm like, there's plenty of diversity in this movie. There's a like really even cast. The general that Jack Nicholson as president gives the he gives the job to go greet the aliens is played by Paul Winfield. He's kind of a Colin Powell knockoff. So again, he puts a black person in charge of, you know, first contact.
Yep.
And I'm watching all this and I'm like, but never in the movie do they go, I want you to go because we need a black man to go. You know, they don't say those things and they don't point it out. It just happens organically because that's how society fucking works, you twats. Thank you.
How do you really feel?
And isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how now instead of like enjoying this movie, you find yourself doing this because of what's happening, looking for diversity, and now it's like it's ingrained into us now. It's like, oh, is this diverse enough?
Yeah, I guess
just to fight against them. Jeez.
I guess it just I was watching it and I'm realizing as it's going.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, look at all this.
I know.
You know? And they even kind of made fun of like rednecky white people with Jack Black's character and his parents in the trailer park. You know, so still, I think the Slim Whitman records saving us from alien invasion is one of the best gags I've ever seen.
It really is.
In movie history.
The best part of the whole movie. Oh, it's so awesome.
Not how good that was. It's so
yeah,
funny.
It is
so funny. So this came out today too, and
yeah,
following the WDW Pro predicts that they are going to label Walt as a Yahtzee anytime now. Anytime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's that Family Guy's already pointed that out when they did a multiverse episode where Brian and Stewie are hopping universes. You know, here's the Flintstone universe, here's the Japanese version of us, and then here's the Disney version of us. And they made it point out that, oh yeah, that's right, this is a Disney universe when Mort Goldman comes in and he gets a less than warm welcome.
That's right. And it's funny you say that, Pete. And I don't want to tip off what Cameron Pasha is going to talk about. But one of the things he has said on other streams, if you want to know the real Hollywood, pay attention to Family Guy. Pay attention to Seth MacFarlane.
Nice.
When he said Kevin Spacey, help, Kevin Spacey's trying to rape me or whatever. And yeah. Yep. And when things like that come out, it's because he's telling the truth about.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see. But that's that. That's it for the weirdos.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, Doomcock did report today that Lucasfilm's working on, he says, remaking the sequel trilogy, but I think they're just going to re-edit the sequel trilogy. Apparently there's footage of Han, Luke, and Leia all together, and they're going to somehow jam it in there and try to retcon what people hate.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Yeah, I think somebody's baiting him.
I think so too. Yeah. Why would they spend all that money?
Yeah,
what's done is done.
Yeah.
So, all right. Recommendations? Things to stay away from, maybe? Like Dumbo?
Dumbo, yes. Don't go near Dumbo.
How about Pinocchio? Like, is that some kind of...
I don't know.
I'm sure if we went through every scene of that, you'll find something inappropriate.
Well, the nose.
It's phallic. It's just phallic. I don't know.
It's funny that people always say about the phallic things in Disney. I never noticed any of that until the people started circling them on things. I'm like, I never know. Maybe subconsciously I did. I don't know what that would have done to me, but...
All right, I'll start at the bottom. You guys are way too good at that. Pedro, what do you recommend?
I'm recommending A Touch of Evil.
Ooh,
I haven't watched that in a long time.
You can get it on Blu-ray. It's got all 3 versions of the film on there. Orson Welles plays a bad guy. Charlton Heston plays a Mexican. Oh, shit.
Wow.
He does. He sure does.
It's a really good movie, except it's very problematic now. Oh, shit.
They put shoe polish on his face, and
yeah,
seriously.
Oh boy.
And he's so bad. He's
he's
Susie, wait across the street.
It's a
honey.
brilliant movie. It's an absolutely
It is.
brilliant.
Yeah. How is it? I don't know. Works out.
Yeah, it's Orson Welles plays a real dick, man. Yeah, it starts off with this like 4-minute long shot, continuous shot. It starts off with somebody putting a bomb in the back of a trunk, the trunk of a car.
Mm-hmm.
And then proceeds to follow the car around
That's right,
town.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's a mystery about basically where did that all come from, and it involves Janet Leigh having yet another bad experience at a hotel. But yeah, Orson Welles is a crooked cop.
The original Vic Mackey.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Find A Touch of Evil on Blu-ray.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie.
If you're interested, you can see the different variations of it. There's a theatrical cut, there's a director's cut, and then there's the actual director's cut. Orson Welles, we saw the theatrical edit. He didn't edit the thing. He just kind of gave his notes and went and took off. He saw the theatrical cut and gave like a stack of notes.
Yeah, 58-page memo. 58
of notes, and finally Walter Murch, who's an amazing editor, went back and followed the notes, and so he recreated Orson Welles' version of it. So all 3 variations, all 3 versions of it are on this.
Wow.
Walter's great. We brought him into our Final Cut Super Meet a couple times to be the keynote speaker in Vegas. And I love Walter, but his presentations are freaking ambient.
Oh God.
I remember we were sitting against the wall and one by one.
If I'm not mistaken, he talks like this. He likes to stand when he's editing. He stands like a gunslinger.
Yeah, he's slow and deliberate with everything he does, and he's very intellectual. So it's like highbrow, and you're tired from a whole day at the trade show, and you're listening, and you're just like, no food, and
Yep.
I remember just watching heads going down.
Oh no!
And it wasn't the crowd; it was us, the organizers of the event. We were falling asleep. So Walter's great. Were you with Stacy? Were you with us when we went to see Touch of Evil up at the Guard?
Trinity? Oh, was it? No, wasn't it Trinity College?
No, it was in New London at the Guard Arts Theater.
No.
When Janet Leigh was there. Were you there?
Oh no! I went to see it. We went, like, there are people from Middlesex that went. I swear it was Trinity. They have a giant screen in there.
Yeah, I went to Trinity too because I love that movie.
Yeah, that's the first time I think I ever saw it was there.
I think Alan went to the Trinity screening with us too, and he hated it because the way they talk over the top of each other and everything. He had trouble following it.
Oh.
But I love.
There's a great story with this that they were having trouble with the original director, so Charlton Heston pulled his weight and said, "Listen, we've got the greatest living director in the cast," and so he basically pulled all of his weight so that they could have Orson Welles direct the movie.
Oh wow!
Well, he owed Universal. He owed Universal one more movie. He was under contract with them. They forced him, so he used that as his. He used that as his final movie to get out of the contract.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
But there's so when they started shooting, there was a scene where they search a suspect's apartment, and so they're rehearsing it all day, and the PAs are reporting back to the studio like, yeah, he's still rehearsing. Lunchtime comes along, he's still rehearsing, and it's coming close to the end of the day. They finally roll cameras. Like, great, he's going to be 2 weeks behind. Well, he turned this entire 3-page scene into one shot. And so he immediately put him 2 days ahead.
Much like Citizen Kane, it's a thesis in directing.
Yeah.
And
It really is.
and there's only
cinematography.
one reason. There's only one reason why Wells decided to do that entire scene in one take. It was this reason right here. One reason. Wow.
Yeah, he
just tell the studios, "Fuck you, I can do this."
It's brilliantly shot. The cinematography is outstanding. The score is amazing. Henry Mancini's score, everything about the film except for Charlton Heston
Exactly.
is great. Yeah, it's a classic. And I always think of Get Shorty when John Travolta goes to see it, and he leaves the theater and he's smiling and he's watching it and he's quoting the lines at the end, and he, like a little boy, he's all full of glee, and he walks out in the street with Rene Russo and he goes, Wells didn't even want to do this picture, but he owed Universal one more for his contract. Sometimes you do your best work with a gun to your head. Yeah. And I always identified with when Travolta's watching that and he's got that boyish grin on his face and he's just so into the movie, and it's over and he hits the guy in front of him and he's like, "Oh, isn't that great?" Every time I watch it, I feel just like that. I love that movie. What about you, Edson? What do you got for us?
You ever heard of the series Luther with
Yeah.
Idris Elba?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it.
I've never
I thought
watched
it was the spin-off of Umbrella Academy with Luther.
No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Idris Elba plays the lead character, a detective, and has a hard time keeping his personal life out of the cases. It's like divided. I haven't seen the whole thing, but it's divided up into 5 seasons. But each season is only like maybe sometimes it's 4 episodes long. They're like just one whole story per season, I believe. And he's obviously I think he's great. He's a great actor. So just starting now to catch up on that one.
Cool.
Nice. Stacy?
All right, I have 2 things. First, there's a movie that just came out last week on Netflix called The White Tiger. It's about the main character. It takes place in India, and it's like the story of this young man who, out of no opportunity, no matter how hard you would work, there's no opportunity for people, makes an opportunity for himself. And it's his story of where he ends up going and how he gets there. And it's pretty compelling because it raises a lot of questions, and it kind of makes you think about just life and the opportunities in America that we have. Like if you work hard enough, you're going to find an opportunity. Where places like India, it doesn't matter how hard you work, there are no opportunities to be had. And so for especially people of the lower caste, and it's compelling, I think, and the decisions, the choices he makes, and it's incomprehensible. Like it's hard to imagine being in a situation like that. It's pretty good. It was really, the main character was amazing. He did a really great job. And secondly, I kind of, my son and he didn't get to go away to college this year because of COVID. He was supposed to be his first year of college and he got stuck home, but he spent his time so far working on music with him and a couple buddies, and they recorded an album. And it's available on all the main outlets like Spotify.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, and
nice.
iTunes and all that stuff. So if anybody is interested in listening to some young guys write some original music, they're pretty good. They did a good job. So I got to push it out a little bit.
Why did you wait till now to tell us?
It just came out 2 Saturdays ago on his 19th birthday. It actually came out. So I think there's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 songs.
Well,
and
we
they
have to social media the crap out of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're called the Aristocrats, and like, yeah.
Talk about turning this opportunity.
Autocrats, not Aristocrats. I'm thinking of autocrats. They're the autocrats.
Talk about turning an opportunity of being stuck into something great. Wow.
I swear it's been a saving grace for him because he could not wait to get out of here. He was supposed to be in Chicago, and it didn't work out for him this year. So at least he spent his time doing something creative, and
that's fantastic.
A good outlet. So, and
you've been sitting on this knowledge this whole
So I stuck the link up there for the Spotify's one, but it's in all any music outlet it can be listened to. So
yeah, I'll have to put this in. The problem is when we close out of the stream, I'm going to lose it, so you have to email it or something.
Okay, yeah.
Let me put it in the chat though right now, real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
Wow. we'll have to get Cole on here to talk about it. Maybe next week.
Maybe.
Why not?
I'll see.
Come on for a little while. I mean, if he's scared, just a little while. He can promote
He's our
it.
special guest.
Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'd be
And
nice
when you
to
were talking about
play music without getting a copyright ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I know my brother does a lot with poetry, and he's got a bunch of people follow him on Instagram, and he's part of this big community, and he's been using his songs in that, and he's gotten people in other parts of the country listening to it, so it's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Got to do that. In the movie you were talking about, when you were talking about how there's no opportunity, now we know why people come to the land of opportunity.
Really?
And a lot of times when they get here, they surpass the indigenous residents of this country because they work that much harder to get that goal.
That's for sure.
Really. And seeing movies like this, it kind of puts things in perspective, and you know, it's just, no matter how hard you work in some places in the world, there is just no opportunity at all available. It doesn't matter. And, you know, it's crazy.
It used to bug me all the time growing up and even my young adulthood when people would go, I'm so tired of these people coming here and taking opening these stores and this and that. I'm like, what? That just means they work harder than you lazy ass.
Really?
You know?
Yeah. We come up with a lot of excuses of why we don't do things. And
it's that whole victim thing again. It's like, no. If they came here and they opened a business and they're kicking your ass, that's because you're a lazy sack of shit. That's why.
Right.
Step up your game. It's that simple.
Yeah. It's definitely worth the watch for sure.
Nice. Okay. My turn, huh?
Yep.
First, I'm going to recommend Edwin Acevedo's The Ace, Volume 1. Go to the fundraiser this Sunday. You see the ticker. You should have been able to write it down by now. It's been going for like an hour. If not, I mean, the links will be on our social media and whatnot. You know, even at the lowest tier, help the guy out. Even if it's probably the first tier's $1. You must have $1. Job or no job, you got to have $1. Help the guy out, and let's get this comic printed for him. That's my first recommendation. My second is something I'm hypnotically entranced with, and I'm not gonna binge it. There's only 17 episodes, and I'm purposely at least letting 3 or 4 days in between. I'm trying to do it once a week. I picked it up by sheer, I don't even know how I picked it up. Oh, I remember now. There's a song on Contain Your Laughter. There's a song on Iron Maiden's album Number of the Beast called The Prisoner. And for some reason, it just got stuck in my head one day. It's one of my favorite albums from my teenage years, and it's probably the best Iron Maiden album, actually. It still holds up. The rest of them are pretty shitty, but that one's good. And the song The Prisoner is about a television show called The Prisoner. And it made me remember that it's a British television show from 1967. And over the summer, Az from Heel versus Babyface and Robert Meyer Burnett were teaming up. And they kind of met each other this way. They found out they were both big fans of The Prisoner, and they decided to do streams together, and that's how they became friends. And they do episode by episode recaps of this show, The Prisoner. So it's on Amazon Prime. And hearing the song, I went looking for it and found it. And I watched the first episode, and it is weird. And I wasn't sure if I liked it. Then I watched the second one, and I know I like it. It's like James Bond meets Doctor Who meets, I don't know. It's about a British secret agent who resigns, goes home, gets gassed, and wakes up in this weird village that he can't get out of. And it's like he's very cleverly tried to escape several times, and he ends up right back where he started from. And it's very frustrating for him. And it's frustrating for the viewer. And it's weird. Everyone in the village is kind of Stepfordy, and they don't have names, they're numbers, which is the song is, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. He's number 6. He answers to number 2. It's just really bizarre, and there's a great scene in the very first episode where he wakes up in the village and he goes because he wakes up in what he thinks is still his apartment, and then he goes outside and it's like, what the hell is that? And,
what fresh hell is this?
What fresh hell is this?
What fresh hell is this?
He goes to the local shop and he says, "Give me a map. Give me a map of this." And they give him this map, and it looks like one of those maps you'd see on like a Denny's menu for kids. Like it's like mountain, pond, and it's all hand drawn. And he goes, "No, like it's a little one." He goes, "No, give me like a real map, like the big one, like with everything on it." And they just give him a bigger version of the same map.
Interesting.
It's just weird, man. It's just weird, and I like it. I like it a lot, and it's definitely an acquired taste. You got to have the British sensibilities, kind of their
right.
dark humor. But the second episode, I absolutely loved. He meets a Russian spy who gets dumped into the village, and they work together to get out. And I don't want to give away the ending, but it's just like,
no, they still wind up back.
Well, clearly they still wind up back, or it would be over in 2 episodes. But how they end up back.
That is a good premise. It's all on Amazon Prime. All the episodes are on Amazon.
Yeah, there's only 17. It lasted 1 year, and I can see why.
You gotta have an ending to the story. I mean,
like when people act up and they misbehave, this balloon comes out of the ocean called the Rover, and it's just a white balloon, and it's clearly low budget. It's just a balloon, but it comes in and like swallows you, and they're like inside it, and they're like just like all over their face, and it's just
they bring them back.
It makes this roar when it's coming after you, and it's just so weird. Like,
oh my god,
yeah, it
swallowed up Hans Moleman in the Leader episode of The Simpsons.
Oh, The Simpsons did it. So like, to me too, it really rings of what's going on now, because we're all kind of stuck in an environment, and then worse, like they're surveilling, like they have cameras everywhere, and they're sitting in a control room and they watch his every move through all the appliances and everything, and we kind of got that going on now with the cameras and the Alexas and everything else, right? I mean, we talk about something, and then the pop-up ads in Google are exactly what we just talked about. Right?
I know, yeah.
That's exactly what happens. Yeah.
It's done in 1967, 54 years ago, and it's never been more relevant than now. So it's definitely, if you can get through the weirdness of episode 1, you'll be off and running, and it's great. It's great.
Cool.
And it's about one more thing about it real quick too. The aesthetic, it was way ahead of its time. It's all like whip zooms and quick edits, and like the cinematography and the way it's put together, very frenetic pacing, especially in the very first episode when he's disoriented. It's like nothing you've seen from that time period.
Interesting.
So yeah, really, really well done. So
The Prisoner, eh?
The Prisoner, starring Patrick Magoon. Yeah.
The king from Braveheart.
Oh,
is he?
Yes, he is.
There you have it.
The one that has the one that winds up. I'm trying to think of a reference that isn't racist or problematic.
Good luck.
But he's the king. He's the English king in Braveheart.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
It's good to be the king.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be the king.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone who watches the replay of this stream. Please, if you can, subscribe. We can build the channel and do cool stuff. By the way, we have a Mandalorian background. You can reach us on the socials at GeekTime Net. That's Twitter, Cesspool, Twitter, Facebook, and Insta. And we will actually on Twitter be promoting Edwin's stuff pretty heavily through the weekend. So please, if you want to find the links, go there. And we're also going to promote Stacy's son's album by the Autocrats. So you can support that. GeekTimeNetwork.com is the website where you can find all this stuff as well. And you can email us at geektimenet@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, cancellation orders,
Yes, do send us hate mail.
What have you? Who's saying it?
See you next Tuesday.
If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the little bell icon to be notified anytime someone from our show drops new content here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?